Welcome to All Gen Gamers, a podcast for people in video games of all generations. Starring Pete Dorr, Happy Console Gamer, Gamester81, and Jason Heine.
Hey guys, this is John, Gamester81. Welcome to All Gen Gamers. It is episode 56. I'm here with Jason Heine, the EMU review. Jason, what's going down?
What is up, guys? Brr.
We've got Pete Dorr. Pete, what's going on, man?
Yo. Not too much. Getting excited. PAX in less than 2 days.
Yes,
2 days
PAX.
away. Unbelievable. We got Johnny Millennium. Johnny, what's up? Johnny is not feeling very well. He's a little under the weather. And being PAX only a few days away, he wants to get some rest. He may jump on a little later. We're not really sure at this point, so we decided to kind of go ahead without him. But we are joined by our special guest, John Pio, the MAMECADE from YouTube. John, what's going on?
Hey, what's up there, John and guys? Glad to be on the show.
John, it's great to have you on our All Gen Gamers. Now, explain to our audience a little about your channel and what you review and talk about.
Well, basically, what I tried to do was fill a niche reviewing arcade games that probably aren't so known, a little of the obscure and unloved, but nonetheless, they've been really popular and people enjoy them. I'm happy that I found something that wasn't so common on YouTube. Everybody reviews the common ones. You know, everybody knows Dig Dug and Pac-Man.
Mm-hmm.
How many of those videos have we seen? So I decided to try something a little different, and it's been really popular. So I'm happy. Like recently, I did a video on Nintendo's arm wrestling, which is a follow-up to the very famous Punch-Out. Everybody knows about Punch-Out, but not much about arm wrestling and stuff like that. I like to keep it interesting, and I'll go through some main games and find stuff that maybe isn't so well known.
Yeah, that arm wrestling is kind of an interesting game. It's a dual screen like Punch-Out, right?
Yeah, it's the same hardware,
Yeah.
designed by the same team. It was just a good evolution of what they had started in the beginning, but it only played here in the United States, and it was the last game that company made for Nintendo.
Oh, wow.
You know, there's a cabinet at Castles and Coasters.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, mhm.
Yeah.
On the upstairs level. Yeah.
It uses, what, 2 joysticks, or what's the gameplay like on that?
I think it's
No, it's just-
a button and a
Button,
joystick, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing as Punch-Out, pretty set up. The button is just a standard button instead of the nice knockout button that Punch-Out used to have.
Do you guys remember the Jalico classic arm wrestling game? Where you actually had that robot arm
Oh,
coming out of
dude.
the arm?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Freaking, I always used to stress my arm out just trying to get arm. Pete, have you played that one before?
No.
Oh.
I've seen it before, though. I think you recorded it in one of your Gamester81 arcade videos.
Yeah. I've seen it every once in a while in the wild, but
Yeah, I saw some kids doing like a Liu Kang kick on it, trying to get the arm down, so they got rid of it, the arcade I grew up in.
oh, really?
No, I'm just kidding.
What the? That's cool. So what's your favorite game, John, as far as arcade games go?
Oh, man, everybody's going to say boo. I know that. My favorite all-time arcade game is Dragon's Lair. Absolutely.
It's a good one.
No, that's good, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not your... I mean, we all know Dragon's Lair and what it was. It was not the typical game, but for me, I grew up at exactly the right moment. I was the right age. I was the perfect demographic for that game. I think I was 13 when it came out, and I'm a lover of animation as well. So that game just hit a home run for me, and I must have poured $500,000 in quarters that I took from my mom's purse probably to play that game.
That's a classic arcade game. It really is. Do you like Space Ace?
I do. I like Space Ace. I used to walk around, I guess when I was 13, with little cutouts from the gaming magazines of like Dirk the Daring and pictures in my wallet. And I think when I went to high school, I had them posted in my locker. One of the great things about that whole game for me was I actually got to meet Don Bluth, who was like an awesome hero for me. I got to meet him in 2001, and I got to meet him and Gary and the guys behind Dragon's Lair at the Classic Gaming Expo of all places. It was in Las Vegas that year. And we actually became, dare I say, friends. And we have a relationship now where we talk constantly. And they're just fantastic guys. They're wonderful, wonderful guys.
Wow.
Wow, that is cool, man.
Be cool to have them on the podcast sometime.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome. That's very cool. So, now there are a couple sequels to the game, correct or not?
To Dragon's Lair?
Dragon's Lair, yeah.
Yeah, there was a follow up to it that got shelved basically because they couldn't get it together in time. So it got shelved for a long time. They switched arcade companies. They went to Leland instead of forget the Cinematronics that they had, and they finally got it out, but in the like 91. As opposed to Dragon's Lair, which was 83. By that time, Laserdiscs had pretty much come and go, and it didn't have the oomph that the first one did, obviously.
It was just called Dragon's Lair 2, right? Or was it called
Time Warp? Dragon's Lair 2, a Time Warp.
Right. Oh, that's right.
I want to say I had one for Dragon's Lair 3 for the PC too. I think.
I was gonna ask. That was my next question. Is now
that was like a mix mash of different scenes and put together. There was no real Dragon's Lair 3. I think in Europe they put together laser discs and stuff and called it Dragon's Lair 3 Singe's Revenge or something
it's almost
like
that.
A
compilation type of a thing.
Yeah,
where they kind
absolutely
of meshed them. Now they did lots of console ports actually.
Oh man.
I mean, you know how many there are. There's tons of them.
Yeah.
Now,
I think I own every single one of them.
Okay, so then here's a great question because I know what mine are. What is the best port and what is the worst port, in your opinion, of the console ports?
The NES version was horrible. Absolutely horrible. I think I rented it from Blockbuster expecting, whatever I could, but it was completely different than the original. It was just a digital game with sprites and all that. But when you say the best I guess would be when it's true to the original, and
that's ultimately what I mean, like the most.
Digital Leisure is who does it now for PCs, and they had stuff that used to play on your DVD player that you can actually control with your DVD remote control. Now the up down channel button used to work, and then they released a Blu-ray version. So to me, they got it perfect a long time ago, with CD-ROMs and stuff. But I think I went out in 95. There was a company called Real Magic, and they were like one of the first pioneers that compressed MP3. And one of the first things they did was pay for the license to get Dragon's Lair digitized on this board. And I remember spending like a ridiculous amount of money for a CD-ROM for my Tandy computer.
Oh, yeah.
Like $380 for a CD. And then the board itself was another $500.
Oh, my God.
Just to play, plus the computer, I think it was $2,000, just to play Dragon's Lair. Like there was no limit to what I would do to play that damn game.
That's love right there. But it's funny though, right? I mean, you'll do whatever it takes, especially being people from like, the old school PC generation. I feel your pain, and like, I would do anything to get a game running on a PC back in the day. Do anything. Even today, you know what I mean? I'll do anything. I'll spend hours even troubleshooting fucking DOS to try to get something going. It's ridiculous.
Jason, you don't know the half of it. I guess in like 96 or so on eBay, I ran across a company called, I'm going to plug it, I know it, Quarter Arcade. Guy there was selling a Dragon's Lair. And of course, I had to buy the actual machine. I bought the Dragon's Lair machine. It's in my basement. Nice. I've never done a review for MAMECADE on it yet. I don't know what I'm waiting for. But I've got the actual arcade machine. And it's been modified that you can actually take the Laserdisc, which is this big, honking like a 33 size Laserdisc, and I could play Space Ace on it as well with the flick of a switch.
Nice.
Right on. That's cool.
Yeah, that is.
What is a cabinet go for nowadays, John?
Ooh, based on the condition, anywhere from like $2,000 to $3,000.
Oh, nice. It's a cool looking arcade, though. I remember it's kind of uniquely shaped. The controls are kind of. It's got like the octagon kind of. It's a strange looking. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's absolutely nice. It's hard to get one with the side art intact, but they have all these reprints that they now have that you could put up and stuff.
Think about just how advanced that game was when it came out. Like what year did it come out? Like late 80s?
83.
83. Oh, okay, early 80s. So
way ahead of its time.
Way ahead of its time.
Yeah,
jeez.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it was competing games like against like Miss Pac-Man and stuff. I mean, it's just unbelievable. You think about
and that's what made them so incredibly popular and rich. That was the first game I think that asked for 50 cents to play at some places.
Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah,
it put TV sets on top. I remember going to Chuck E. Cheese and seeing actual TVs that were spliced into the video so that people can watch and see it. It was an event when someone got to the Dragon. No one knew how to do it,
Yeah.
And later on, of course, computer magazines were giving it away. Once they cracked the code, whatever it was. But it was actually an event to see that, the final board. I remember the first time I did it, and I was shaking. I was literally at the game shaking because I would, first life was died. I wouldn't get to the second part. And when I finally beat the dragon, I was, ecstatic, and they put my name up on the marquee of the game, and they put my score as if it meant something.
Nice.
Back then, Dragon's Lair really didn't have a score per se. It did, but it meant nothing because it was about getting the dragon and saving the princess, not about score.
How long does it take to complete, start to finish?
Not long. 13 minutes, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So,
but it's hard as hell if you don't know what you're doing. Once you memorize, at the right time and the story of it, it becomes easy. But I mean, when you first play it, it's hard as hell.
Yeah, absolutely.
John, have you ever played the game called Time Traveler?
Yes.
Yeah. Wasn't that by the same guy?
No.
No?
No.
Was it?
Don didn't make that one. Rick Dyer, I guess you're talking about Rick. You mean the hologram one?
Yeah, the hologram one by Sega.
Yeah,
Sega?
Rick was behind that. Don didn't have anything to really do that, but Rick was the one behind that. It was his next thing that he tried to come up with.
That's right.
It wasn't nearly as successful, but it was a fun game nonetheless.
That was a trippy cabinet right there.
That's
it was trippy. It was
all
trippy.
white and like a dome. God, I remember it in the corner. It was just so cool looking.
I remember trying to reach out and touching the figures or the characters. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What's up,
John? Didn't you do a video on that? Or
I
something?
did. Yeah, there's a DVD that came out that
I remember.
You can play on your DVD, kind of like you
version.
mentioned with Dragon's Lair. You can play it on your Blu-ray, whatever. But obviously, it's not nearly as good as gameplay because you wear the red silence, the red blue glasses,
right?
But it's not nearly the same. So
right. As far as arcade games, that's like my ultimate game, and then I guess the second would be Spy Hunter for a traditional game.
That's a classic one.
And I've got one of those in my basement as well.
Really? So how many arcades do you
own? Those are the only two dedicated arcade games, and then I've got like a whole slew of pinball machines, like a lot of them.
Really? I've loved pinball machines.
Like 17 pinball machines.
Oh, geez.
Really?
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, small fortunes. Like I look at some of the collectors on YouTube, and they've got all these, Sega games, and of course Pete has a collection that would rival the Smithsonian, and I've got these pinball machines that take all this room in my house and all this money out of my pockets, and I only got 17 to show for them.
What? No, that's a lot. That's a huge question. What are some of the ones that you're most fond of pinball machines?
Oh man, I collected the ones I collected for specific reasons. I didn't go nilly-willy. I went looking for particular ones. Some of the ones that I'm really proud of are I have a Medieval Madness.
That's a classic one.
Which is a fantastic, funny game.
That goes for so much money.
I think that one's retailing between 7,000 and 10,000 depending on the condition. Yeah. I didn't pay that much, thank God. But it's in good shape. And one of the weird things is the voice acting is so good in that game. I believe, and I think Tina Fey is one of the voice actors.
Yeah, you're right. Tina Fey.
Which is crazy.
That is so funny. Yeah.
But that's one of my all-time favorites that I have. And then another really rare game I have is Cactus Canyon, which is the last type of game of its kind that Williams made before they went belly up and closed their doors. It's not particularly the best game, but being that it's an incredibly rare game, I think they only made a handful. And it is a fun game. Don't get me wrong. It's a Western theme. But that's a pretty expensive game as well. I got a whole bunch of them, from stuff like I have an 83 or 4 Dragon's Lair. No, excuse me. Dungeons and Dragons, themed actual game licensed by TSR. Which I love, which is an old time game, and I actually have a Spy Hunter pinball game, a whole bunch of them. Yeah,
I love the artwork that they put. It's almost like a piece of art, really. Same with arcades, but I think pinball's more so. The attention to detail they put in some of these machines are just amazing.
One of the prettiest ones I like, for instance, I have a Theater of Magic, which was a Williams game, and the side art is an actual trunk, like a magician's trunk, and it's such nice quality. Just looking at the machine from the side is beautiful. And then Stern is the last pinball company that's out there, and the way they do it, it's a different printing scheme, and it doesn't look as nice. It really doesn't. Like I have a Lord of the Rings Stern game and a South Park Stern game, and the side art, it doesn't really compare to an old Williams game, which was beautiful.
Have you played the Neutron one?
I haven't got a chance to play it, no.
I played it. I was up in Seattle. There's an arcade called Dorky's Arcade, and it was really cool. It's only been open maybe like 9-10 months. It's fairly new, but they had a bunch of our class arcade games, and they had probably maybe more than like 18 different pinball machines. But one of them was Tron, and it's by Stern. Obviously, you mentioned Stern being the one last. Now I heard that they're making an Alice in Wonderland, and I heard another company is coming into the mix. I don't know if you've heard that or not, but I heard there's another company trying to enter the pinball market, which I think is good. But
is it the New Jersey Pinball Company or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
It's got New Jersey in the title.
Yeah,
I wish them luck.
Yeah, I think competition is always good. You know,
their first game I think is going to be Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz, that's right.
Yeah,
Wizard of Oz,
awesome.
not Alice in Wizard of Oz. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see.
So back to Tron. It's a pretty fun. It's really fast. There's a disc in the top middle of the machine, and it spins. And you have to unlock it, and you have to. What your whole goal is to hit the ball into that and unlock multi-ball. But it spins so fast that when I was playing it, it actually like the ball was going so fast, I got stuck in my bumper. It was crazy. So I couldn't it kind of ruined the game for me. But no, it's really cool sound effects. It's got a mini Tron arcade in it too, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, so, pinball wouldn't be pinball if there wasn't a gimmick on every machine. There's always a gimmick.
Right.
Awesome. Did I hear correctly that Pete has never played a pinball machine?
You would be correct.
That's insane, Pete. If you're ever in New York, look me up.
All right. Yeah. I mean, like when I grew up around here, there weren't any arcades or anything, and I've never known anybody that's owned a pinball machine. So I've never actually touched I mean, I might have when I was little, but I don't recall it.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never played a real pinball machine.
Yeah, I wasn't into pinball either when I was growing up in the 80s, to be honest. It became like an obsession later on. It's completely different from video games, and they appreciate in value as opposed to video games. You know, you buy
tell me
an
about it.
arcade, it doesn't go up.
Mm-hmm.
So as a business standpoint, it's nice to have one if you can learn it and fix it and resell it. It's kind of neat.
There are two that I'm actually looking to purchase eventually. The Shadow is one of them. I love the Shadow.
Classic game.
Classic. Do you have that one, John?
No, but I've played it many times.
I love it. You can change the path of the ball with those two ramps, and then they have the upper left corner. They have a little platform where you can move. It's just a really cool play design. I really like it.
That would be a diverter, John.
The diverter, is that what the technical term is?
That's what they call it.
Getting real technical now.
Okay, we're getting technical here. This is good.
Yeah, it's a nice play field. It's got the gems of the rings and stuff all over the play field. It's very pretty.
Yeah. The next one would be the Next Generation Star Trek. I think that's a classic one. I think Indiana Jones would be cool to have too.
I've got that.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got that. I've got the gold rails and the gold balls and the gold legs, and I powder dusted the gun so it was gold and all kinds of crazy little modifications. See, there's two kinds. There's either the purist who doesn't touch a single thing, which I totally respect, and then there's idiots like me that decide to modify and put all kinds of gizmos and I do, and it's fun because I like getting in there and drilling my play fields with.
Well, next time I'm in the New York area, John, I'm gonna have to hit you up.
Absolutely, and I owe you a T-shirt too. I told you I was going to send you a
Star Wars one. Yeah,
something that I'm sure you do not have.
Cool.
I gotta get that out.
What's going on, man? You're kind of quiet over there.
I didn't want to cut in, but yeah, I don't know. Pinball, I would love to get the chance to try it out. Hopefully, maybe at PAX, because I know when they had the ACAM there, when we went to PAX East, they had a lot of arcade machines, but no pinball machines. So maybe one of these PAXs, they'll have some setup in there.
There's actually a place in Seattle, Pete, that it's called, what's it called? Tilted. I forget what it's called, but I'll find out the name for it. But basically, what it is, it's a pinball shop that serves ice cream, like homemade ice cream.
Nice.
That's
and
unique.
it's very unique. They have like live music. They have like maybe a dozen or more pinball machines, and they serve like fresh, real ice cream. It's
nice.
Really. I'll find the name of it. I don't know. Jason, can you Google it real quick?
Ice cream.
Just type in pinball Seattle ice cream. We may have to make a road trip over there, Pete.
Full tilt ice cream.
Full tilt. That's it.
Ice cream.
Well, are there retro stores like around PAX?
There is Pink Gorilla, which is
Well,
downtown
they're going to
Seattle.
be at PAX.
Yeah, they're going to have a booth at PAX, but they have a store in downtown Seattle.
Because I remember Metal Jesus Rocks, I believe on YouTube, posted a link on Google of all like the retro stores around the area. And I think there was one that's like a 15-minute drive away. I don't remember the name of it.
I have a rental car.
He's a local from that area. You know if he's going to be there?
He is actually, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna be John, I'm sure you're aware, we're gonna have a big YouTube meetup on Friday at 4:00.
Yeah, I messed up on that. I wish I could have been there. Would have liked to hang.
Maybe you can go to PAX East in 6 months.
Yeah,
I'll be there for sure.
That'll be closer to home for you.
Absolutely.
So what have you guys been playing? What's going on? It's been a while since we've talked, a couple of weeks since we recorded.
We should let people know that tonight is actually an up-to-date episode. Recording this Tuesday on August 23rd. So we're very close to PAX, but this episode's actually going to go up tomorrow, August 24th on a Wednesday, because we're going to be going to PAX.
We're all heading out.
Yeah, so I'm not going to have time to upload it to the website and whatnot on Thursday, so I'm going to upload this tomorrow, so everything we're saying and playing here is pretty current. I guess I'll start off by saying that today I went to the stores to buy a smartphone because I've never owned a smartphone, as much as some people out there might be gasping in shock. How can I live without text messaging and crap? Well, I can live without it. And apparently I still can live without it, because instead of buying a smartphone, I bought an iPad. Because to me, and let me tell you, the amount of money not having a smartphone saves you it's pretty nice. Because instead of having to pay $90 for calls, messaging, and internet on, say, an iPhone, I'm now just going to use my iPad, whatnot, keep my crappy T-Mobile phone for calling when I got to do it. But I went in expecting to buy a smartphone, and then when I started talking to the guy, and he's like, yeah, it's going to be about $90 a month. I'm like, fuck. Like, I just stuff started rolling through my head. Like, that's like, it's like a game and a half right there every month. I'm like, you know what? I don't really think I'm going to use this to its fullest, because I'd probably text message once in a while, like with you guys and whatnot, and friends every once in a while. And calling, whatever. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a look at the iPads. So I decided to go with a 32 gigabyte 3G AT&T, and I've been playing around with it for like maybe 45 minutes. I went on Skype and talked to Jason and John before we went on the show, and that works awesome on here. And so far, I'm really happy with it. And actually, John, MAMECADE, I wanted to ask you, because I know you have an iPad.
Yes.
Because I'm so excited now. What the hell? What are like my must-have games that I have to have for this thing now, if you know of any?
Oh, yes. There is a retro game. Oh, I wish I had my pad on me. It is such an old school game looking sorcery something or another. Oh, it's fantastic. It's all pixel, and it's pixel, but ultimately very realistic looking. I got to get that name for you. I'll find out. But there are some really cool games on it. But you're looking for retro per se, or just
anything? I've started downloading one game already, Infinity Blade, which has been recommended to me quite a few times. It's possibly, from what I hear, the best looking iPad game out there. One of them. Yeah,
that is a really good one. I play a lot of the. Again, I deal in the obscure. I don't go for the big game that everybody needs to play. I like playing the weird games and stuff, but I wish I could remember the name of that game. I'm going to look it up, though, and find it for you before this podcast is over.
Okay. It's not called Sorcerer of Fortune, is it? Because I'm just...
No, not at all. Not at all. But I'll find out what it is. It's kind of weird. I can't find it now, but I'll find it for you. Now, I've been playing From Dust. You guys know this game, From Dust?
Mm-mm. Yep.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
You played it on the PC or the Xbox? Well,
I did it on PC. I know it's a console also. It came out on the console first, I think 2 months ago, and I'm doing it on my PC. It's kind of like maybe like a Sim City kind of thing, black and white. Peter Molyneux kind of, you're a god with natives that you have to. It sounds old and it's been done before, but this is really ultra realistic with a lot of terraforming, and you control the earth, and this generation of computers is just amazing how you can just toss lava and it builds mountains for you. It's really awesome looking. So I'm having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I've looked into that when I was actually going to buy it. But then, I don't know, I started watching videos and just reading stuff up on it. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to pass because, man, on the Xbox, at least, these things are $15. And I'm like,
Yes.
to me, it looked more like a puzzle game in a way, the way that you got to try and play it. And because it's, when you compare it to the Sims games, SimCity, there's really the only aspect to it, like a town in it, from what I understand, is you just get the natives to walk across the water by building, land masses for them to walk on, and then they build their village on their own. Does it ever really go beyond the land forming, or there really isn't any kind of...
Well, the way they do it, it's different worlds that the elders have abandoned, and basically you're trying to rediscover what the elders have abandoned, and there's these totems that you have to get to. And like you said, you have to get your tribe of 7 or 6 people to the totem, and then they'll build a city around it automatically. The trick is that particular world you're on, for instance, may have a tsunami that comes every 2 minutes, and there's an actual countdown of this tsunami. So then you have to take lava from an erupting volcano and build an actual wall of stone to protect against the tsunami, so that you, and then once you get that done, you have to leave. So in essence, it is a puzzle game, without a doubt. And once you get that, then you're on another world with a new set of problems that is unlike the first one before it, but you learn by using certain tools, like there's a jellify water that you learn, like a magic spell that your shamans could use, that the tsunami suddenly becomes like a jello for like 2 minutes and it stops, and then you have to do other stuff before it gets released. So it's definitely, time is of the essence. Otherwise your folks die, and if you lose all your men, you've failed that mission. But it's a puzzle game ultimately.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's a fun thing. I'm sure there's some neat clips on it from YouTube.
It's actually from the creator of... I forget his name, but the creator of Out of This World or Another World. It's his first game since he created that original.
Really?
Wow.
Yep, that original game back then, yeah. So that's what really had me interested, but I passed on it for now. If it goes on sale or whatnot, I'll probably give it a try for sure.
Didn't the guy...
How much is it for the consoles?
$15.
All right, that's what I paid on Steam.
That's not
Supposedly
bad.
there was a big debacle on the PC where you had to be, they changed it recently because people were complaining so much, where you had to actually, to play the game, you had to be connected to an online connection or something to be verified or something. They just did away with that though.
Yeah. To me, it didn't make much of a difference. I'm always online anyway, and I purchased the legal copies. So if they have the DRM, for me, for this particular game, I didn't mind it.
But
I wouldn't be a good friend, Pete, if I didn't mention that. There is Battlefield Bad Company 2 for the iPad.
Yeah.
Is there really? Like,
wow.
Yeah, there is.
What the hell is it?
There is.
What kind of game is it?
It's a shooter. It's
a first-person shooter.
Yeah, they have lots of shooters on there, actually. Multiplayer shooters and all that sort of thing. Yeah.
I saw this one cool thing. I don't know what they call it, but it looks like an arcade. And like you put your iPad through it, and
I've seen this.
It's got
John
joysticks
has
and
one
stuff.
of those.
Yeah, I have one of those.
Do you? Okay.
I did. Yeah, it's the Atari thing. You have like 100 games actually, and you can put it on your iPad. I go through my stuff. You'll see it, John. There's a whole review on it.
I will.
It's pretty amazing. It's connected with Bluetooth, so there's no lag. It's fantastic.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Now,
I'll check it out.
The Atari games on the iPad, are they kind of hard to play with the touchscreen, would you say?
You would think so, but they did a fantastic job. I think it's called Code Monkeys, I believe, is the company that did it. And games that require a spinner, for instance, like Tempest, instead of a spinner, they made this sliding thing that behaves really well, and it's really impressive. They did a good job. I'm not disappointed in that. I'm happy I spent the money for it. I got all the games. Have I played it again since I bought it? No.
Wait, this thing comes with the games themselves, or you have to download those?
It originally came with Pong for free, and then you could download bundles of individual games, about 5 games, and that would become 2600 games or classic Atari arcade games. You can pick what you wanted. You can get all the sports games that Atari 2600 had, or the space theme games, or you can buy them all, I believe, for $15.
Wow.
So I bought them all for, it's about 100 games. I bought them all for $15.
It's kind of like what Xbox was doing, right? With the online, arcade, you can buy.
That failed miserably.
So failed. Yeah, They did really.
They needed to have online play. I mean, I would have bought all of them if they had. Not so much. It's just that a lot of the games, unless you have someone around readily available to play with you, it's like the prices they were charging too were not worth it.
I think it was a good idea, just executed just terribly.
Oh, it was an awesome idea. Yeah, are they still making games for that? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it was pretty much dead. Yeah, I might be wrong, but that's too
the weird thing with that whole arcade thing with the Atari thing was, you get you can buy separately this arcade cabinet, and if you look at the video, John, you'll see. I forget what number of video I made of it, but it's absolutely gorgeous. But the trick with that whole thing is I got it from Think Geek. And they had put it on the website, and I registered right away to get it, and then it said, "Ha ha ha, April Fools! This doesn't exist," and I was so pissed. It was like a big joke.
Wow.
I thought it was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Because as you know, Apple has a problem with emulators. You can't play an emulator unless your iPhone or your iPad is jailbroken, and of course mine is not. Right. But so I said, "Oh, video games finally!" And it was a big scam or something. But then I learned there was this really ingenious way that, and I don't appreciate it, but they got a feel how many people were interested by how many people logged in for more information on this item. And then eventually they did build it and get it built. It was called the iPinCadePad.
Wow.
And they sold it for like $99 or something. And it was a big waiting list. And I was luckily one of the first people in the first round that got it. And then it was sold out and you had to wait another couple of months for the next round. But it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I mean, the artwork looks really cool too. I'll have to check out your video, John. I must have overlooked that. So
yeah. Oh, by the way, Pete, the game I was thinking about was Sword and Sorcery on the iPad.
Okay, let me search. Hold on.
Take a look at the pictures there. But you really should watch a video, not just the pictures, because it's so fluid moving and it's all just pixels. It's absolutely gorgeous.
I'm impressed by the graphic capability of the iPad and the iPhone. It's really
it's a really nice platform. It really is.
Yeah. But most games I've played, like, honestly, the controls are kind of hard to control because it's a touch screen and they have the joystick in the corner and the buttons, but it just doesn't really feel the same. And, my dad has an iPad and he had a racing game where I'm tilting the iPad to race, like Need for Speed or whatever, but it just didn't feel right.
No, I hate those kind of games that need the accelerometer and the tilting thing because, I take the train to work and you look like an idiot tilting on the subway trains in New York City.
Right.
But have you guys? Do you guys remember the old classic game Sword of Fargold?
Sword of Fargo.
Fargold, Fargoal.
It's arcade.
Yeah, it was more like Commodore 64.
Commodore 64. Well, yeah.
Boy, see, I'm showing my age here. I'm too old. That they did a fantastic port, a modern day port on the iPad that I would definitely recommend for Pete. Sword of Fargold is a fantastic. What do they call those kind of games where you have one life? Pete just did
roguelikes. Yeah, I love roguelikes.
Yeah, where you got that one life, and it really means a lot to stay alive throughout the whole game. And it's a great dungeon crawler with a tremendous history. It's fantastic. You should take a look at that one.
That's on the iPad?
Yeah, or iPhone. Even it plays really good on both of them. And as far as controls go, as John was questioning the controls, that's got a really neat control system. Absolutely.
Is this game called Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. This looks like it's right up my alley.
It's creepy,
He's got
too.
a bunch of games to play now.
Yeah, he's gonna be occupied on the flight.
I'm gonna be going crazy with this shit.
Yeah.
I'm going crazy with this shit.
Whole nother world has opened up to me now.
The Sword and Sorcery game is very creepy. It's kind of like a very Twin Peaks kind of way. Yeah. The ambiance, the music, it's just a really creepy game. You'll love it.
What is this? Just like an adventure game, it looks like?
Yeah. It's got a great story. I don't want to give away a lot.
You'll
definitely enjoy it.
Play it on the plane.
There's another good game. It's called Human Centipede. Should definitely download it.
I can see this iPad getting quite impulse buy dangerous.
It is, dude. Especially when you've got that iTunes store account going on. It's one click to buy. Woo! Look out!
It adds up. Yeah.
Yeah, look out.
$2.99 here.
That's what happens to you on Steam. It's like Jesus.
Oh God, yeah.
Stuff is so easy to buy. Oh, no, Amazon. Amazon is the biggest culprit.
They're all
so
horrible.
easy to buy.
Horrible. What's even more screwed up, Pete, is like for like a birthday, like 2 years ago, I got like an iTunes gift card, right? And I had it in my iTunes account and never used it. Because like I don't download a whole lot of music like on iTunes. I usually just go to Amazon and buy the physical CD. I always want the physical CD. I'm old school like that. So I'm always buying CDs. Well, I was like wanting to buy some apps, right? And it's like, oh, you want to buy an app? Here, you have $20 in your iTunes account. I didn't even make the connection that money in my account could be used on apps.
Wow.
I spent the $20 right there in one sitting. It was gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's where it could be trouble. So, encourage your loved ones for birthdays and special events. Give me an iTunes gift card. You can use that on apps.
At least Apple uses dollars, not like points like Microsoft does. Because then you have no idea what you're.
Okay, buy this app.
Nice.
I need to get an iPad, man. I've been wanting to get one. What was it about?
Wait, what was
$700?
that other one? The 32 AT&T. Of course, I did financing on it. There's no freaking way I'm paying because I got a case with it, and then I got a bag for PAX to carry it, and then I got a screen protector for it. But yeah, it was like 7 something for the 3G one. And what was that other one? Sort of Fargle.
Fargle, yeah, sort of Fargle, Fargoal. And it would be worth it to look at the history and play the original if you could. I don't know what kind of systems you have, but on the Commodore 64, it was an absolute must for me. I mean, I played that game for hours and hours.
Was it a floppy or was it a cartridge?
It was a floppy in my case.
Okay.
It might have been on a cartridge later on. I don't recall, but it was floppy. Most of those games were.
I love those classic Commodore 64 games. That was my favorite vintage computer, I think.
Oh my God. These are like I love these games.
See, I'm having a problem now because, I'm doing these obscure games. And what happens is after you do, I'm up to like the 55th game or something. Right. After a while, some of the obscure ones aren't fun. They're obscure because they suck. So eventually I'm going to shoot myself in the foot and run out of stuff to do. I don't want to start doing crappy games. So I have to think about where I'm going to go with the future of this channel and maybe expand into some Commodore games or some other.
Some pinball.
Yeah. As a side, I'm definitely going to do the pinball because I know a lot of folks in the arcade field like the pinball stuff too. I don't know why I've held out so long to do it. It's just I want to do it right. You
want the time to be right. You want to wake up in the morning and you want to just feel pinball. You know what I mean? Then you want to go to your camera, go to your computer, and it works right.
Well, you'd be surprised. Once in a while, I try to do something a little different. I did, a couple of handhelds, and I did recently my Star Wars art thingy, my cell animation, and I get complaints like, "Hey, dude, why are you doing non-video game stuff?" You get a fan base that becomes very attached to what you do. So you don't want to alienate.
Yeah, but you also have to innovate and re-innovate and also be creative. So that's a lot of what people don't understand is that when you have, this is a hobby. We do this for a hobby. So, and we don't just have one hobby here, folks. We do lots of different things. So if you want to branch off and do other things, that's totally okay with whatever you want to do.
By the way, John, that film cell you have is awesome. The Star Wars one.
Yeah.
Totally jealous of you.
Oh, dude.
Wait, you have something that Gamester does not have in his Star Wars room? Oh, my God.
I have a signed Clone Wars animation cell.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, man.
That's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, that is.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of hobbies. See, John and I, I watch his nostalgia channel and I love it. I'm a little older than John, but I definitely share his love for nostalgia. Yeah. And I want to do stuff like that, but I don't want to bite his channel. I certainly don't want to, pay homage to John and his stuff.
Go for it.
I'm actually thinking of doing like a toys and cartoon channel because I love 80s cartoons as well.
You got my support 100%, man. Go for it.
You should never hold back.
Never hold back.
Like
the thing is, have fun. Don't, fuck the haters, honestly. And, that's the reason I made so many channels because it would make sense for me to put Star Wars stuff on my Games 31 channel,
Right.
Well, people are going to rate it down that are watching your channel for games. They're going to say, get back to the game reviews. We don't want to see Star Wars figures. And that's exactly why I also made a separate channel for my Sonic stuff because people are starting to get pissed off every time I talk about Sonic the Hedgehog crap that I was getting. So I'm like, you know what? Different channel.
Yeah. And recently I just got partnered.
Congratulations.
So thank you. But that opens up a whole other can of worms now. I didn't realize for me, because I just got partnered, they're very critical of what you do. They don't like gameplay videos, and I'm having all kinds of trouble, getting stuff accepted for monetization.
You're not the only one I've heard say that, but for me, knock on wood, I don't have any issues. Maybe it's because I'm an older partner. I don't know.
I think so. That's got to be something, because there's a lot of problems. For instance, I had a conversation with Metal Jesus Rocks, and he's had problems as well. They keep denying any kind of video game footage unless it's educational, and it has to be educational.
Yeah.
Incredibly short snippets. You can't play a scene, so to speak. You have to make it really, really micro short, and even that could be rejected. So, I thought it would be totally different. So I'm having a little trouble, and that's forcing me to innovate as well, because they want original content.
So would pinball gameplay be considered gameplay?
I haven't done it.
The
I'm a little
sounds,
nervous.
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, the sounds.
YouTube is so freaking weird with their rules when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Very, very weird. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure. I'm a little nervous about putting it up and worried. I'm hoping to put up enough videos that they'll give me a green light and I won't have to worry so much about getting stuff rejected. It's not about the money. It really isn't. It's more like, I want to get my message out there, and people are happy with it. And I don't know, I'll try it. We'll see it. But you know what? Monetization isn't about the money. I don't care so much about it.
No,
if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It's fine.
Right.
It's not about that.
I don't think any of us expect to be like rich off of making YouTube videos.
Of course not.
We're not quitting our day jobs from doing it.
Would we love to be able to quit our day jobs in order to do it?
Yes.
But that only happens when you have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, really, when it gets to that point.
Pete Dorr. Right.
No, nowhere near that. So.
Hey, John, have you met up with Spider 1A? I know he lives fairly close to you, and he's a huge pinball guy.
Yeah, I spoke to Chris way back in the beginning. Like, we kind of touched base about pinball, but I never followed up. I watch his videos. I think he's absolutely fantastic with his presentation of his games, and I hope to be nearly half as good as he is. But we never really followed up further. I mean, I probably have seen him in auctions and whatnot, but I would love to meet up with him one day. He's a nice guy. I can tell right away.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Chris is a good guy.
Yeah. And speaking of a long time ago, I just looked up some of my stuff. I think Jason, I actually reached out to Jason back in November of 2010.
Yeah, I remember this. Yep.
Do you really? And
of course.
I was just starting out, and you look at the big guys and you go, oh man, look at this. I want to do that. And Jason, had that fantastic voice. He still does. And I said, oh, let me reach out and just tell this guy how cool I think his show is. And he was kind enough to reply. And I asked him, I said, what give me some advice. What can I do to be a better channel? And he was like, be yourself and put some interesting content. It was really, really nice, and I thank you for that. I never really got to tell you thank you, Jason.
Hey man, no, thanks for writing me. It's always nice to see people like yourself at that time starting out, and you were making some great content. I mean, you still do, of course, and so it was nice. I'm glad you reached out.
Yeah,
and I'm glad that you're doing exactly that. You're being yourself. You're doing what you love, and you're having fun with it, and that's really all that matters. And that's the way to be successful with it.
Yeah, that's gonna. Yeah.
I had a guy a couple days ago write in to me and say, I love what you're doing. I love what all of you guys are doing. He's talking about the All Gen Gamers crew here, and he goes, I just want you guys to continue to please do it. Don't stop doing it. And I wrote back to him and I said, we all talked about this from the very beginning, and I think this applies to even everything that we do in our lives. And I said, we all said from the beginning, we're going to do this as long as it remains fun. When it's not fun, we'll stop. You know what I mean? Like, if it doesn't become fun anymore, and it's a chore,
it's a chore,
then we're done. You know what I mean? And this has been fun. It's always been a blast, and I just love it. And I think we all do. YouTube, and so yeah, good work on the channel there, John, for sure.
Thanks. Yeah, we're going to be hitting a year in September.
Yeah, already it's coming up. Jeez.
Yeah. I'm trying to get 4,000 subscribers if I can before the year is here. That'd be kind of cool. I'm trying that.
Everyone listening to the podcast now, go over to John's channel. MAMECADE, subscribe. He's a good guy. I think you'll enjoy his content as much as we do. So MAMECADE.
Thank you.
You'll definitely get some more subs.
Well, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. We have a lot of really cool people.
To you guys.
Nah.
We have cool people that like what we talk about, so they'll come over your way.
Yeah, you've got like so many cool things. Like Johnny does a lot of the anime stuff. I'm so upset that he's not here today. I would love to talk a little bit of that with him. You know,
He texted me and he said he's playing Dragon's Lair right now as we speak.
awesome.
And he's stuck playing
Awesome.
that. He's not going to be able to join us because he's stuck playing Dragon's Lair.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
yeah, it's too bad he's not here. But
He needs to rest up though, because
Yeah.
man, I would, if I got really sick right before PAX, I would be pissed.
Yeah, totally.
You know? All this
Yeah.
build up to PAX, and then you go there and you're like, freaking got the worst cold ever. Which Johnny better not give it to me, that bastard. I don't wanna
That
get sick.
rat bastard.
But usually with colds, doesn't it take a few days before you actually get sick, like from somebody? I don't know.
You know, I only, knock on wood, I only get sick maybe once a year, if that. I don't
Yeah.
get sick very
You
often.
travel around a lot too,
Yeah, you
boy.
travel all the damn
I
time.
travel all the time. I mean,
I figured you'd be
airplanes,
coughing up a lung.
recycled air, and knock on wood, I have a pretty good immune system, thank God. So,
Well, he's been traveling since he was 3, on business. So
yeah, it's true.
he's been doing it a long
It's
time.
true. It's true.
So how about John? What have you been playing? Anything?
What have I been playing? Oh, what's John?
Oh,
Which
gosh,
John?
that's right. We
Oh,
got 2
shit.
Johns.
Okay, John, you go first. Guess.
No,
guess
I
first.
mentioned From Dust. I played that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, so Mr. 8, Gamester 81.
Too many Johns in this fucking world, I swear.
We were just saying Johns and gaming, they like go hand in hand. There's just so many Johns.
Okay, so what have I been playing? I didn't write down a list because I've been quite... Okay, so I'll try to remember as much as I can. Last time we had our podcast a couple weeks ago, that night I came home, I beat Alan Wake. I know I was close. I finally went home. I beat it. A little disappointed in the ending. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's still a good game. John, have you played that? Alan Wake?
No, I haven't.
It's a good game. It takes place in like the northwest, kind of the Washington area. It's kind of interesting play dynamic, but the problem I have with it, it's very repetitive. There's only like a few enemies in the game. They keep popping out, and it's just kind of repetitive. But the story's decent. I definitely get it for cheap if you can. You can probably get it used for less than $20. If you can do that, definitely pick it up. Alan Wake.
What did you play it on, John?
360. Well, it's only on the 360. It might
Oh,
be
I
on,
heard it's buggy. Is it buggy on that?
it might be on the PC too.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't have any issues with being too buggy.
Okay.
So, but it's not on the PS3 or anything like that. It's Microsoft only. What else have I been playing? I played, speaking of pinball, I'm continuing playing that Gottlieb collection for the PS2. There's about
Nice.
10 pinball machines on there, and that's a lot of fun. Definitely, I got that for I feel like $4 used. It was pretty cheap, and I really got my money's worth. I was with Jason, in fact.
Yeah, is that good? That's good.
It's good. Yeah. Definitely check it out. I Batman Arkham Asylum. Kind of pissed because on my old 360, I was like maybe 5 hours into it, and it crashed, and I lost all my game for it. So now I have to go back through and play all that game over again. And this was like,
it's discouraging.
It's so discouraging.
It really is. You just like don't want to do it.
But I want to beat it before the new one comes out.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm excited for the Arkham City. So I've been playing that. I've been playing a lot of Sega CD games recently. Kind of, Sonic CD. Last night I played Bram Stoker's Dracula. Have you guys played this game?
No.
A
No, I have
long
not.
time ago. I remember it being really hard. That's all I remember.
It's by Sony, actually. Sony was one of the people who made it back in the day. It came out in 93 based on the movie. But it's one of the hardest fucking games I've ever played, I swear. It's cool. It's a really cool, like, the graphics are really good for the Sega CD. The sound is really cool. They have the different cutscenes from the movie, while you're playing it. And it's got a really cool, almost like a 3D perspective. It's a side scroller. But it's so hard because there's spiders dropping from the ceiling. There's like rats that come jump at your face. And it's so frustrating because it's almost like Pit Fighter in the sense that they take a character and, almost like a Mortal Kombat, and they put that character in the game. So you only have a limited amount of punches. You can only punch forward. You can only kick up. So like things that are crawling on the ground, you can't even hit them. So you're basically, your result, you have to jump over them. But then you got shit from, it's so freaking frustrating to play.
That is such a common problem on earlier games from that generation.
Yeah, totally frustrated. Playing Wing Commander, the original Wing Commander for the Sega CD, it's a pretty good port because there's voiceover for it, which is cool. So rather than reading the text, you have people speak, and it's funny because they all have different accents. You have the French, you have the Russian, everyone has, they don't speak American at all. It's all different accents. Everyone you speak to is just kind of funny. But it's a really fun game. I mean, I know Jason's a big fan of Wing Commander.
Love it. Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. Recently, I've been playing games I've been playing. So, Jason, back to you. What have you been playing, buddy?
Well, I just want to give an update here that I am moved in after.
Yay.
God, it's been about a month. You know, it
Yeah.
takes such a long time, and you guys know my studio here. It's nuts. So, I'm finally moved back in. Everything's set up. I have all my consoles here. I'm able to stream on Twitch again. I have all my audio stuff set up, so I'm able to record audio and keep working on music and all that stuff. So I'm set. Able to continue on with my EMU review channel as well. So that's big news here. I've been down for a while, you know, so I haven't been playing much. But so recently, I have been playing the last couple of days here. I've been playing a game called Section 8 Prejudice. You guys heard of this game?
Yep.
Yep.
I actually tried the demo on 360. It's the one where you do that huge skydive out of the sky before you land on the map.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, you know, this is like a Halo type of a shooter. I know there was the first one too. I didn't actually play the first one. This is, I think, the second one in the line here. But I definitely want to give a thank you to Tim. He also goes by the name Myth on Steam. He gifted me this game, thanking me for, you know, the work that I do. And so very, very kind. I sat down and I just went all the way through it and I beat the game. Now, it's not a very long game. I probably beat it in 3.5 hours, 4 hours maybe, max. And that was me dinking around, you know, really checking out the environments and stuff, as I like to do. But it's a great shooter. It doesn't feel 100% original, but that's okay. It has really good gameplay. The combat system is good. They have, you know, lots of ammo and ample ammo crates and health packs, and the game's not very hard. I did play it on the hardest difficulty and died maybe 5 to 10 times altogether. But it was a really good game. I have it on Steam there. But a fantastic game. It has great online, has some co-op, I believe, and it has like 3 or 4 different game modes that I have not really experienced just yet. I went through the campaign first, but really like it. Thanks again, Tim, for hooking me up with that. Great game there. Let's see. What else we got here? I played a little bit of Arma 2. It went on sale on Steam like 3 weeks ago, and I bought it. And there's like some sort of tournaments happening, and Arma 3 is coming out, I think, sometime this year or next year, sometime soon. It's going to be just this huge scale battlefield, this massive sandbox environment, like the biggest environment you've ever been in, to explore and play and defend and fight and all that. So I'm really looking forward to that. Have never really been into the Arma series of games before, but a couple of my clanmates are telling me, get Arma, get this, we're going to play it, la-da-da-da. So I broke down and ended up getting it. I've only played about 30 minutes of it, but still, really, really cool game. Very realistic, even more so than like the Battlefield series. It's very, very team-oriented. It's almost slow-paced, you know, as it's a little more realistic. So, but either way, really cool game, Arma 2. And then lastly here, now, I don't want to say too much about it, but I've been playing. I've been sitting up late nights, sitting up, screwing with getting old DOS games to work under DOSBox, just because I have all these old ass games, these old PC games, and you know, I'm loading them in, and I copy the files over, and then I try to get them to run in DOSBox, which they do. It's amazing.
That reminds me, Jason. When you're done, let me jump in when you're done, though.
Okay. Is it about PC DOS games?
Yes.
Yes, I know it is. I'm excited. Okay. So anyway, I'm popping the games in, I'm copying the files over, and I'm loading up DOSBox, and these games run. It's just so great to play all these games that I used to play on my old-ass Windows 95 box, you know, back in the day, in the early 90s and mid-90s, stuff like that. It's totally cool. Now, I don't want to say any spoilers, because I have a game that I'm going to do a review on, and it's going to be up on my emulator review channel. I don't want to say anything about it other than this is like the cream of the crop for me when it comes to remote controlled racing games.
RC Pro-Am. No, I don't know.
Actually, RC Pro-Am was the very first video and review I ever did for my channel. The original RC Pro-Am. It's a little history note there, but it's not that. So that's all I'm going to say about it. So let your minds ponder.
Barbie Racing.
Came out in 2001. That's the only other hint I'm given.
Strawberry
Wow.
Shortcake Racing.
They made that?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't want to say that I own it, but I do. It's a pretty good game, yeah. But that's really about it. I'm doing some DOSBox stuff, a little bit of stuff on Steam, but I'm all moved in, and now I'm getting ready to go to PAX, so I'm not going to be playing much in the next week. But
Well, yeah.
yeah, other than that, okay, John, what did you have to say?
Okay, so you mentioned DOS games, and I was at Bookman's about a week ago, one of our favorite places here locally.
Love it.
And I picked up a couple compilation packages. I picked up King's Quest,
Oh,
all 7 of them, whatever.
classic
On DOS. So I need your help, Mr. Heine, to get that going on DOSBox. That'd be awesome.
for sure.
So that's great. And I think I only paid like $10 for it. It was pretty cheap.
Mm.
So also picked up, and this is for Mac, like old school Mac, but it came out for classic DOS too. But it's a LucasArts. It's a compilation disc, so it's got X-Wing on it. It's got Dark Forces, Rebel Assault.
Well, it has 6 discs, right?
Yeah, all 6 discs.
Which one do you have? What number is it?
I think it's 1.
Okay, because I have like 2 of them. I have, I think, 1 and 3. They made like 3 different sets of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome. You got one.
awesome.
That's bullshit because I go in there looking for those things.
$5.
Yeah, they're cheap too. That's awesome. Oh, that's a good compilation. for
Yeah,
sure.
so it doesn't work on my Mac, so I need your help because it's I don't know, it doesn't work on OS.
yeah, we'll get them working.
Yeah.
Great games.
Yeah, good
X-Wing,
games.
Dark Forces, all that. Yeah. A lot of fun.
What are the other? They came out with 2 more than that.
Yeah, they did. They did like I think 3 different sets. Yeah, and I've got 2 of them.
So awesome! I love those classic LucasArts games.
Some of the games are demos,
Uh-huh.
but some are full versions in there. It'll say on the disc. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good find.
I forgot to mention a couple of things. Well, I didn't forget, but I guess we just jumped into other subjects. I played. I did a review on my channel, so I'll do real briefly here. But I bought and played and beat the game El Shaddai: Ascension of the Metatron, which is, for those of you that don't know, or you might have seen this game. It's that one that looks really, really artsy, with like really surreal looking graphics. In terms of the gameplay, it plays similar to, it's a very linear action adventure kind of hack and slash game. Combat kind of mimics a simplified God of War meets Okami kind of. And basically when I reviewed it, I just went over how awesome the graphics look, which by the way, if you guys have not seen this game in action before, you just have to check it out. It's El Shaddai, E-L space Shaddai, S-H-A-D-D-A-I. One of the most unique looking games I've ever seen. Unfortunately, the gameplay didn't quite hold up for me through the whole game. I was starting to get kind of bored and it was getting a little tedious. But a really unique concept, and the story is sort of like biblical God kind of stuff with a fantasy twist. Very cool game, worth checking out. Whether or not it's worth $60, I'd probably say wait. It's the kind of game where the price is going to drop. Also, for the Neo Geo CD, which I recently finally started buying some games for, I picked up a game called Crossed Swords 2, which is exclusive to the... sorry, I'm getting a message here on Skype. It's exclusive to the Neo Geo CD, so it was never on the AES or the MVS. And it's sort of a first-person arcade RPG kind of game. It's so hard to describe. It's sort of like, think of how the old first Punch-Out game was, where you're kind of, your character, it's from behind and it's like you can see through them and you're kind of just trying to hit the enemy in front of you, the one single enemy. Think of that sort of like RPG terms. I don't know. It's so hard to describe. I don't know. Have any of you guys played the Cross Swords games before?
I know what you're talking about as far as the see-through. I mean, you kind of
Yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah, I get the idea.
And you can move left and right only, and it's 2D, and enemies pop up on the screen, and you kind of gotta do combos and block. Think of it sort of like if any of you ever played Dragon Quest Swords on the Wii. Just think of it like that without motion controls, and that's the basic gist of it.
So
really fun. Yeah,
It's a side like you move left, right, kind of like, isn't there a Spy Hunter, or what's the game for the Neo Geo that's kind of like that?
You don't really move left to right. It's like you go from one scene to another. Like you advance one screen and then enemies come out and you got to defeat them, move on, keep going like that. And you're always behind. It's like a behind view. It was pretty fun. It was actually pretty challenging since I was playing, I guess, arcade mode. I had unlimited continues, so I was able to beat the game. I actually live streamed it. It was pretty fun. I plan on trying to get the first Cross Swords on the AES because it's fairly cheap to get a hold of. Also, on the Sega Genesis, I finally got a game I've been meaning to get for a long time. It's actually the most I've ever spent on a Sega Genesis game, and that is Musha, which is a very sought-after and one of the most expensive games on the Genesis. Shoot 'em up. Lately, I've really been in the side-scrolling, horizontal, vertical shooters, and well, unfortunately, Musha was on my list. Well, not unfortunately, but my wallet is saying unfortunately was on my list to pick up while I'm on this shooter kick. But it's a really great game. It's mech based, so the character you play as is a mech, and you can get little robot buddies on the left and right sides of you to kind of help you out on screen. And there's like 7 different positions you can put them in for alternate fire. And the music in this game just absolutely kicks ass, I have to say. If you get the chance, search Musha, Musha, soundtrack or music or whatnot for the Sega Genesis. It is phenomenal. Some of the best I've heard on the system. And just a shout out to Retro Snowcon 3 for the review he did of this game that really pushed me over the edge to pick this game up. I don't know if I mentioned this last time in my epic 16, 17 games I've been playing recently, but I have been playing Lords of Thunder as well on the Sega CD. Another shooter that is excellent. Another excellent metal soundtrack to it. It's a lot of fun. I've been playing it on normal mode, but I just started switching over to the hard mode where there's tons of enemies on screen and it's very hectic, very crazy. I live streamed that as well. And yeah, I think that's basically it.
Pete, what was that game that you did a review on that was like the anime game, almost like Dragon's Lair? Yeah, how was that?
Strong.
Did you beat it?
Oh yeah, I beat that game a couple of times. It's fun. It's it's very simple because they show you the button presses that you have to do on screen, unlike the Dragon's Lair. And from what one of the people told me that was watching my video, they said that the version that's on Laser Active, it's called Triad Stone. It's a lot harder. So that the 3DO version that I played, it's just simple left, right, up, down, and just tapping a single button or mashing a button. Whereas on the Laser Active, you actually have to do 2 button combinations at a time, like press left and then press this button at the same time. So it's a little bit harder. So maybe one day, probably never, but maybe one day I'll be able to try that on the Laser Active. But if you're a fan of Dragon's Lair, I'm telling you, or Space Ace, or any, maybe someone on the podcast here that's a fan of those games, just check out Strawl on the 3DO. It's probably the easiest way to get a hold of it.
Hey Pete, do you have a Playdia, Bandai Playdia?
No, I know you told me it has a lot of those kind of games, but are they actually playable? Like, do you have to know Japanese or not really?
Not really. It's just like all anime, kind of like,
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. You just have to push certain buttons at certain times. It's kind of a unique system.
Shit.
Maybe one day.
I just forgot something that I can't forget.
What's that?
You were just talking about seeing Japanese on screen. Remember, like 10 episodes ago, we were talking about what game would we like to see come to the States that never made it? Or we had a question, something like, it was something similar on those lines. And I said, I would love to see an Initial D racing game in the arcades, come into the...
Someone sent you an Initial D game.
Somebody sent me Initial D, which is region free, from Japan.
What system?
PS3.
Oh, awesome.
Yep. Initial D. Hold on.
That's a sweet dude. There's so many nice people out there. That's
Which
crazy.
reminds me as well, while you're going to get that, Jason.
I just got it.
Big thank you to Video Games Pew Pew, who sent me a sealed copy of Eco on the PlayStation 2. Which is actually my 4th copy of Eco. So thank you, Video Games Pew Pew. I'm not sure if you're listening to this podcast, but go ahead, Jason.
No, that's totally cool. I mean, again, it's just, there are some really nice people out there, and they reach out to you and they do some really cool things like that. I wasn't even expecting it. I didn't even know they had made this. And then I got contacted by Chris. He also goes by Dust Loop in the forums and the streams and all that. You guys know Dust Loop. You've seen him in there. And he said, hey, they made Initial D in Japan. He imported it because he lives in Europe, and he imported it. He's played it. He's done with it. And he said, I'll send it to you. Do you want it? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. That's so cool.
Do you want it? Like, he really had to ask that. It's like, I'm going to send this to you.
Well, maybe he didn't. I don't know. Maybe he said something like that. I'm like, I'll send it to you if you want. I'm like, yeah, I want it. That'd be great. So, but he did. He totally sent it. And the game's fantastic. I've only played a little bit of it, but I'm going to definitely sit down and get into it. I mean, I love it in the arcade. I love it because you get to race, real cars, and I just love the gameplay. I've always really enjoyed the kind of over-the-top kind of anime, Sega style. You know how they do. So it's
how is it compared to the arcade?
It's like perfect. It's like an exact port.
Wow,
it's excellent. It's excellent. And so yeah, I don't know how to read Japanese, and so it's kind of hard for me to navigate some of the
Menus,
on-screen menu, but he sent me also a link to the manual in English, so that helped me out. I mean, totally cool. So, Chris, thank you so much. I told him I totally would thank him, and so I am doing so. Chris, thanks, buddy.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
It's awesome.
That's all.
Where do
I
you
got.
guys find the time to play all these games to completion? It's amazing.
It is.
It's not easy.
I don't get it. I mean, I've got all these systems as well, and I just cannot. I play a few minutes. Maybe it's my patience level. I just can't do it. God bless you guys.
Well, you think I can finish them all, but that's not the case. I pick up and buy so many games, and there's so many unfinished games that I have, and I feel terrible with some of them because I get like to the end, and I just leave it right off at the end of the game. And some of them I pick up and I play for an hour, and I never touch again. And I spent quite a bit on them. So
that reminds me, I picked up Ellie Noir again. I put it down for a while. I got to the third disc on 360. I did a couple more episodes on it. I'm like 3 episodes away from being done, and it's a good game, but it's just like one of those games.
It just doesn't seem like the type of game for me. I don't know. I think I'm going to pass on that until it's like $15.
Yeah, it's a good one. The storyline's really good, and then just the.
I'm just not into
phenomenal.
1940s kind of stuff. Like I've just never been into that.
Yeah. What I'm saving up for though, comes out I think December 31st.
Can I guess?
The Pandora 2.
The Pandora.
That he'll get in
I'm still fucking
2020.
waiting for my Pandora 1. Shit.
He'll get in the year 2020. No, can I guess what you're saving up for?
Guess.
I think it's going to be that Star Wars Xbox.
Yes.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Of course. I knew
Got
you were
it.
Of
going
course. It's like $450.
That thing is
though.
kick ass though.
Whoa.
It's so kick ass. Yeah.
But it comes with a whole bunch of stuff, right? And it's got like a 320 gig hard drive, right?
320 gig hard drive.
Explain some about it, because I don't know all that comes
So
with
it comes
300
with
gigs you're never going to use.
Yeah.
That's a lot of space.
a lot of space. And it's got the R2D2 looking console. It's got a C3PO controller.
Oh, nice.
That makes an R2D2 noise when you turn it on.
It
open
beeps at you. And,
Oh, man, that's cool. Shit.
and then Leia hologram comes out and she starts stripping in front of you and stuff. It's pretty awesome.
Where do I pre-order this shit?
No.
Holy crap. Where do I... Send me a link. Send me something.
Help me, Jason. You're my
See, but
only
something
hope.
like that will be worth a lot of money later on.
In
'cause
time,
it's going to
yeah.
be very limited for sure.
Here's the deal, though. I already have a Kinect and I already have a 360. So what do I do with my prior shit?
Sell your old 316 Connect.
Yeah, I can
Yeah, maybe
transfer.
sell
I can
it.
transfer the gigs over and stuff.
Yeah.
I can transfer
Yeah,
the data over.
yeah, they make a transfer cable or some shit you can buy. I don't
Okay,
know.
I'll do
Yeah.
that. All right.
I mean, you might as well. I mean,
Oh, wait. Oh, I think I was a bastard. I was going to say, I think I have my transfer cable. I think I might have returned it, though, after I used it. Like,
Everyone does that. You're not alone.
I'll take a look. I'm not 100%
All
John,
right.
but if I have it,
All
I'll
right,
bring it
if you have it, bring it down to PAX or up to PAX,
Yeah.
whatever. Speaking of which, we should probably mention that I'm sure most of you guys are probably aware, but we're doing a big YouTube meetup Friday, 4 o'clock. So if you're listening to this podcast, tomorrow will be Wednesday, so there's a couple days. If you're in the
PAX.
Seattle at PAX, yeah. So if you're in the area, Seattle area, please come on by, say hi. We're going to be doing a podcast as well, episode 57 on site. It won't be live in the terms of like listening to it live, but
Or like streaming it or anything.
Streaming it
Because the
live,
internet's
yeah.
going to be an issue.
we're going to
Not
record
having
it and then post it up later. But if you want to come join us, we don't really have a site and location at this point, but we're thinking maybe shooting for Saturday at 4. Well, if you're at the YouTube meetup, we'll let you know, and also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yeah.
And
We'll be posting it there.
We'll post stuff on there.
Check all of our channels too, as we've talked about this there too, if you want to get a refresher of it as well. We've
Yeah.
all posted videos about it.
So
And if you see us there, don't be shy. Please say hello. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
come
remember
on up.
when I went to PAX East, there were a few people that said, "Oh, I saw you there," but I was too
Yeah,
shy.
here's the problem. It's like here's the problem. You guys
Or
see
normal
us. You guys see us. But we don't necessarily see all of you. You know what I mean? So come up to us and say, "Hey, I'm so and so." And we'll give you We'll give you a big hug and we'll slap you on the butt. Send you on your way with some pudding.
Jason might just make out with you too.
I might. Hey, I'm handing out free download cards for my
I
album.
saw that on your video. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and if you want them, you come on up and ask for them. I'll hand them on out. Good stuff. Sorry to interrupt you, Pete, but I agree with you there. Come on up to us, people. Step to us. Let your presence be known.
Yeah.
I think you intimidate guys. They're shy.
I feel so bad. And this will always stick out in my memory, and I apologize if this kid is listening to this podcast right now. But at PAX East, we did our meetup outside, and this poor kid, I felt so bad for him. He comes out with his dad, and he was the most nervous thing I ever saw in my life. Like, he was blinking a mile a minute, and like I asked him his name, and he said something I couldn't even understand him. He was like shaking, and he was like the most nervous kid I've ever seen in my whole life. And I felt so bad because I'm like, my God, like he's here to see me, but he can barely like even talk. Like it was such a strange and weird moment. Please don't feel shy or nervous or embarrassed.
That's like almost like the cutest thing I've ever heard. I mean, these kids, you know what I mean?
He was like 10 or 11, I think.
He's the one that asked you for an autograph. I remember that. I remember that being there.
Yeah.
And then he walked right past me. He's like, hey, whatever. Which is fine.
Who's this big asshole?
But then, see, the thing is, I found his channel on YouTube. You know, because once in a while I search tags to see if anybody mentions me in a video or whatnot, so I can, you know, thank them or whatever. And his channel came up, and he was like normal, not nervous at all. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah.
You know, so I definitely, you know, please don't feel nervous if you come up to us at PAX.
Yeah.
We don't bite hard.
We just play games. That's it.
I can't believe no one's mentioned Deus Ex yet.
Yeah, you know, I was looking at that game today, and I actually forgot it was coming out. And I've never played. I know this is something I really should get on, but I've never played the original Deus Ex on the PC or the one that the sequel or port, whatever the hell it was on the PlayStation 2 port, whatever the hell. But this game looks pretty interesting. The problem is, I've never like. It sort of looks like a blend between, like, I don't know, Mass Effect meets Fallout meets like, I don't know. It seems like a game that I might not really get into. I'm not quite sure. Have you tried it out yet, John?
Yeah, I tried it for a few minutes today. You basically have like two choices. You can do stealth mode, or you can just do the gun toting mode. I went with the gun toting mode only because it's more fun, and you have to power up your armament. But I mean, the power-ups are kind of cool because depending on what path you take, it'll affect gameplay, but it's just more of the same, pretty much as you said. Nothing really different than these other games that we've seen all before.
It's like it doesn't really have anything that stands out. It just kind of borrows from other games, I guess you could say.
Certainly does,
it well.
Yeah, it does it well. It's a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, but you don't feel the enjoyment until you're into the game a little bit. You know, you have to spice up yourself and get yourself all souped up. In the beginning, it's pretty boring.
You know what, though? I'm going to pass on this game. The reason being is because I've been actually enjoying myself, actually going back and playing some games I've had sitting around forever. And it's come this, starting actually September, I forget the exact date, like September 13th, September something, White Knight Chronicles 2 comes out for the PlayStation 3, and that's going to start like my official have time to play nothing else, you know, in terms of free time with video games, because White Knight Chronicles, and then after that comes out Dark Souls, and then freaking Eco and Shadow of the Colossus collection at the end of September. And then, of course, we get into November, which is like the godfather of freaking game releases for this year. Oh, my. It's Skyrim and Call of Duty, Battlefield, Batman. I mean,
the whirlwind.
This year, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself this year. Like, I can't buy everything. I can't play everything. And there's so many games I want.
I have a feeling that PAX are going to be able to play a lot of them, test them out.
You know what, though? I've decided that I'm not going to wait on any long lines, really. Maybe one for one game or whatnot. I want to experience PAX the best I can, and waiting on a line is not the best way to do it.
Right.
Like, I think back to waiting on a line to play. Trial of Eden was worth it, though, because to me, I couldn't wait to play that game.
Maybe you can get some little nervous kids wait online for you.
There you go.
Stand in line for me, yeah.
Hey, kid, stand there.
I'll give you my autograph if you stand
said you're a fan, so fucking stand.
Oh, look at you! You look so nervous. Good, stand over here for a while.
But, it's like you wait in line like an hour to play a game that's going to be coming out in like 2 months.
Right.
It doesn't. Yeah. Speaking of games,
like walking around and or playing the indie games. You know, the indie games are the best part about PAX. Like the small games that are kind of unnoticed. It's the best part.
Yeah.
So speaking of small games that are unnoticed, there's going to be a game there at PAX that I'm interested in seeing.
What's that?
Counter-Strike Global Offense. Huh. Small games that are unnoticed.
Yeah, it's a downloadable game, isn't it? DLC or not?
No, I'm just being funny because it's like the most played online game for about 12 years running.
Yeah.
No, they are releasing a new Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
I'm still interested to see why they haven't released, Half-Life 2 Episode 3, but that's just me. I'm going to keep mentioning it till the cows
Is
come
that
home.
new Counter-Strike is going to be on disc? I heard it. I thought it was going to be on.
It is. No, it's going to be available on Steam. I don't know. It might be. I doubt they'll do a physical copy.
Yeah,
I mean, this
thought it
is
was just download this
coming
one.
from
Yeah.
Valve, the pioneers of Steam. I mean, this is probably going to be, a download only. But Counter-Strike Go or Global Offense. I'm reading it here on Steam. It's going to be playable there at PAX. So
I have a feeling it's not going to live up to the hype. The reason being is because if it was really that good, they would have called it Counter-Strike 2.
yeah,
See, by them putting Counter-Strike Go or whatever the hell, Global Offense, that's kind of like their fallback.
yeah. This, and from what I'm reading here, it says it's going to feature new maps, characters, weapons, but delivers updated versions of the classic Counter-Strike content like Dust and all that sort of thing. In addition, CS:GO will introduce new gameplay modes, matchmaking, leaderboards, and more. So basically what it looks like. Now, do you remember when, they released Counter-Strike, then they released, Day of Defeat, those games were out, and then they released the updated versions that used the Source engine, and they just called them Counter-Strike Source, Day of
Right.
Defeat Source, Half-Life Source, all that sort of thing. So this is kind of what I'm thinking is what they're going to do here. They're going to just release an updated version of Counter-Strike with a few new game modes, but nothing really different to set it apart. No, I agree with you. I think I don't know. I just really want them to do other things, but I'm interested to see it. I do like CS for sure. So
All I need is Team Fortress 2, which reminds me my internet connection's been screwed up the past few days, so I haven't been able to play Team Fortress, and it kind of depressed me. I need to stab some people. I've been getting into Team Fortress so much, I was starting to record footage playing as the spy, and I was going to upload it to a separate YouTube channel for the hell of it, but I'm getting too ahead of myself here. I'm going to take on these different projects and then just never continue with them. So probably going to abandon that idea, which reminds me, I made my intro for my horror review movie channel.
Oh,
cool.
nice. What is your
Nice.
channel?
Well, I haven't started it yet, and I'm not going to mention the name so that people don't steal the name on me because I haven't even registered it yet.
yeah,
But
definitely.
I made the intro for the channel already, and so now. Oh, and I bought a green screen as well,
Can I
so that when I'm
can I make
what's
I'm sorry to cut you off. Can I make a suggestion on what you should
Go
call
ahead.
it? Instead of
Okay.
Pete Door, call it Pete Whore.
well, I played around with those ideas, but I'm like,
Pete Horror.
I was actually gonna do something to that effect, but I was like, I don't know. I abandoned it because the one that would have been really cool would have been Pete Gore.
Yeah, Pete Gore. There you go.
But the funny thing about that is that was a troll that used to troll me all the time with a fake name, and they got their account suspended. So
Yeah.
there goes that name.
It's funny.
That would have been
Right on.
sweet justice, though.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah, just let us know when it's up, man. I'm sure you will. But
Yeah.
that sounds like a great
'cause
idea for a
I've
channel.
actually recently bought softbox studio lighting, so now I can actually film in the dark. So usually, that's why I've been making a lot more videos too. Because before, I never used to film past when the sun was starting to go down because the lighting is just terrible in my room here. Even if I have the windows open and just the lights I have, if you don't have professional lighting, it comes out looking pretty bad. But I picked up some softbox lighting, so now if I film at night, my past 3 videos that I filmed where I show myself on screen were filmed at night with just these lights on, so they
Cool.
work really well.
Cool.
And I got a green screen too, and the company
Nice.
actually sent me 2 by mistake, so make some profit and get it for free, sell the second one. So because what I'm doing is I'm green screening behind me for the horror reviews because it's not going to make much sense for me to
Yeah, that's a good idea.
talk. Yeah, you know what
Cool.
I mean.
Cool.
Nice.
So yeah, excited for that
Very nice.
because I love my horror movies.
Yeah, you do.
I like horror movies too, but just WHORE.
Yeah, the different ones. Yeah.
Different kind of horse.
Yeah. So hey, I have a Game Stopper segment,
Okay.
and then what we're gonna do? I got a Wales Quick Draw that's posted.
Yeah.
We can do that.
And then Pete, do you have your little segment too?
Yeah, I'll find one of those.
Okay,
too.
so let's
Okay.
do those 3 and then bounce on out.
let's do the quick draw first,
All right.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that we can get all of us.
Let's be like 4 questions.
Yeah, that
each.
sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I don't have my soundboard or anything queued up, so we're gonna just do
You're fired.
Scout's Honor.
Go home.
Scout's Honor, and
So, John, if you haven't heard us do a quick draw before, it's basically we post a question. We let people know we're doing a Wales quick draw on our Facebook page, and people leave us questions, and then each of us has a minute to answer. So you feel free to jump in on any question And then we'll just go from there. And if we don't answer in the minutes that is allotted to us, we will hear Jason. There you go.
Since I don't have it queued up, that's. I
know, that's why I asked.
I love it. Thank you, Pete. Always got my back. All right, so why don't see? I just had one here. Okay, I'll roll out then, and I'll start my first one.
Go for it, ladies first.
The question is, game franchise that you can't stand anymore. From Ulysses Alves. How do you pronounce that, John?
Alves. Avis.
All right. That works.
Okay, I got it.
Go for it.
The goddamn, I know it's discontinued and they're supposedly bringing it back, but I'm so sick and tired of goddamn Guitar Hero and Rock Band games, I swear to God.
Ooh, can I make it something real quick? You mentioned that?
Go ahead. Yep.
I was at Toys R Us last week, and I saw the bundles. These are bundles for both the PS3.
$10.
Yeah, for $10 each.
Ridiculous.
For PS3, Wii, and 360. And that's with the guitar, and that's with...
DJ Hero was there with both turntables in the game for $10.
Yeah, and they had Tony Hawk there with the board and everything.
Yes,
the ride.
Tony Hawk was there?
Yeah.
Wow.
With the ride for $10.
Buy my game for $10.
And Tony Hawk comes to your house and skates in your living room.
Tony Hawk, yeah, he comes there and rides nude.
Totally nude.
Yeah.
And makes you dinner.
People are going to hate me. I'm tired of Madden over and over and over.
Yeah, it's not a bad one.
I don't think you're alone there. No.
I'm on the same boat with you.
Yeah.
You've milked it so long now. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. Hey, folks, this is John Madden here.
Yeah, I'm dead, but I'm still making games.
No, I don't think you're alone. I think people just get sick of the gameplay being the same.
Yep.
And I'm not into sports games or even Madden games for that, but I know people that are, and that's what they tell me.
EA could totally just upgrade the rosters, download upgraded rosters, and that'd be it. But they got to make their $60 every year. Yeah, I'd probably have to go with the Tony Hawk series. We loved the first couple Tony Hawks, but man, that ride and Activision just really screwed that. They melted, just like Guitar Hero. Really sad.
Now they're gone, so
they're done.
See where that went. Mm-hmm. God, you guys took all of. I had one. Then you guys start talking.
Ooh, I have one.
I got to think of another one, and then you take that one.
I have one.
God damn it!
Battlefield fucking sucks, dude.
God, look at this guy.
Can't stand Battlefield. That new Battlefield 3. What the fuck is that about?
Coming from a guy who doesn't own Battlefield.
I think it's gonna blow Call of Duty away. Honestly, like I've just been watching some videos on it, and especially on the PC.
Oh,
Jesus Christ, those 64-player battles. That scene where they show like the fucking 2 helicopters and like 5 tanks and shit like rolling together. I'm like, oh my God, so epic.
It does.
So I think I got to get it on PC.
Please do, Pete.
As much as I want to play it on the console, the fact of 24-player versus 64-player with huge ass maps, it's like no brainer.
Here's a difference with that, Pete. Here's the thing. You know how like I always have said this too. I'm gonna get it on Xbox or I'll get it on a console because I have more people that play it on console. I know you're in the same boat. You're even more in that boat than me, right?
Yeah, I might buy it on both if I like it enough. But
I'm gonna get it on both just because I have to.
It's Battlefield. They're paying you for each copy.
They're paying me, so it's okay. But here's the thing: I have a grip of people that are playing it on PC. I have more people that are playing it on PC right now, even before it's out, than I do on console right now. Already lined up. So I don't think you're alone with thinking PC. I mean, 64-player, just that alone. And you're going to use Battle Log. We're going to be able to squad up together. Matchmaking will be legit finally. So definitely get it on PC. Just trying to talk you into it even more. Okay, so I guess I'll say Capcom. I'm sick of not the franchise. I'm just sick of what they're doing. I'm sick of their business model of releasing this DLC shit. Yeah. Or I'm not DLC. Of
rehashed
games or releasing physical copies that should be DLC is what I meant to say.
Which by the way, Mega Man Legends 3 100% confirmed, never going to happen because Capcom cut the rope on the Japanese dev room for that. So
that's fucked.
The creators of Mega Man Legends 3, the whole dev room thing with the serve bots and the forums and all that shit gone. So sorry Rob man.
Wow. All right, who's up?
Well, actually, I got one here because 2 people asked the same question, so we might as well answer it. One of them is from Joshua Davies, and the other one is... Hold on a second here. Okay, the other one's from Jake Sowers, and they asked the same exact question. What is the longest you have ever spent playing a game in one sitting? For me, I obviously don't know an exact time, but I can tell you two of the games that it probably happened with. One of which would be either StarCraft 1 on the PC, Diablo 2 on the PC, SOCOM 1, 2, or 3, most likely SOCOM 1 on the PlayStation 2, or Final Fantasy 11. The most likely candidate is probably Final Fantasy 11. There's been times where I've probably played that game for, from the time I woke up until I went to sleep on a day off. So, which would probably be, I don't know, like maybe 16, 17 hours. Yeah. Pretty bad. Dark times. What about you, MAMECADE?
It's got to be Warcraft. My wife and I we're addicted to Warcraft back when it was fun to play. She's really cool that she can go into her office in the house and I'll go in my office in the house and we'll play our characters together, and we would probably play for about 16 hours on. I remember one time it was like 4 a.m. in the morning. We got a call that her sister was having a baby, and we both moaned that we had to stop the game to go to the hospital.
We're that's hardcore right there.
Why did it have to come today?
Really? When did you become pregnant?
Selfish. That's so no. How dare she have a big kid then during that time, man? Couldn't you just wait?
You're pregnant? We didn't even know.
We didn't know. We've been playing this game for 9 months.
That's hilarious.
But now it's totally different because now I have a little girl. I have a 1-year-old that there's no time anymore. So
well, there's been couples that let their kids die because they were playing.
Yeah, I should keep having to put the alarm clock to remind us to feed the baby. But you want to hear something really interesting? I know it's just really off topic real quick. Guess what my kid's name is? It's a girl. See if you can guess it.
Samus.
Marley.
No. Thinking of what I do on YouTube.
Dragon's Lair.
No. Arcadia.
Whoa, that is an awesome name.
What was it? I didn't catch it. What would you say?
Arcadia.
Arcadia, cute. Nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's cute.
Yeah, a lot of people they go, "You're kidding me, right?" That's what you named your kid because of games, and my wife actually picked the name, so I'm not.
But even if you don't think of games, that's such an awesome name.
Thank you.
Arcadia.
It's very pretty. Yeah.
No, those people need to calm down because those people that name their daughters like Rose, something. Oh, because I love flowers. It's no different.
Yep. No different.
So fuck them.
Now, I think people thought I did that because I have a dog named Atari, and they were like, "Oh, you named your daughter after arcades? Come on!" But no, my wife named her.
That's cute. I like it.
Thanks.
Dragon's Lair.
You could have said Daphne. No, Dragon's Lair.
That girl's scarred for life.
She just go by Dragon for short. Okay, here's one. This is by Phil Desnoyers.
Well, hold on a second now. We didn't get Jason's answer. Jason, how long have you played Battlefield?
Oh, yeah, I didn't answer that either.
Oh, I've invested probably. I think I'm
in one sitting.
Oh, I was thinking I'm at like 550 hours. Okay, in one sitting. Oh, easy 8 to 12 hours. Easy. I do that all the time.
Even now?
Yeah, all night.
Wow,
I'm crazy.
You're crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess talking about some older games, like I played Dave Defeat in the same sort of thing. Somewhere in between.
Don't we have a trend going here, at least with us? It's like the games are all online.
PC.
Yeah, online for sure. Yeah. Well, how about here? I played Excite Truck about 10 hours when that came out.
Wow.
And went through that.
That's an awesome game, though.
Same thing with Excitebot. I did the same thing. I bought it, came right home, sat down, went through it 100%. About 8 to 10 hours.
I think I'm gonna do like a marathon with Skyrim, by the way, and probably Eco Show to the Colossus collection.
That'll be awesome.
Definitely. Yeah, that's about it.
John.
For me, Diablo 2, I put in a lot of time in during college. I would just spend all night. What
class did you play as?
Oh, gosh.
Sorceress, Necromancer, Barbarian.
I was Necromancer a lot of the time. Necromancer, yeah.
That's right. Necro in the hood. That's what I was. I was a corpse explosion Necromancer.
Yeah.
So all I do is I go into Hell Cows and wait for the first cow to die and then just explode the shit out of everything. For hours a day.
Damn,
I put a lot of time into, what was that? Oh, Counter-Strike that we were talking about before.
Yeah,
Counter-Strike I used to play all the time. Then it just got to the point where people just got too good or they hacked it and shit. I I would die.
Spawn die.
Spawn die. Yeah, it sucked. And that's pretty much it. I mean, probably maximum maybe 8 hours, 10 hours. Now I just don't have the time for it to put that much time in.
I do at night. That's the only time I have time is at night when everyone's sleeping.
I gotta wake up for work in the morning. I can't do that necessarily.
Well, I do too. It's just
I
fucked up.
know. It's crazy. I don't know how you do that.
Eyes are bloodshot.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. Do we all answer that?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think so.
Okay. I have a question by Phil Desnoyers. How do you guys feel about the massive 3DS price drop? Are the free games worth it? Or this $80 you could have saved? Pete, we'll start with you.
I mean, for Christ's sakes, I blow $60 on freaking games these days and never finish them. So to me, would I have liked to have saved $80 right off the start? Yes, for sure. Because that would have been, 2 games I could have bought at launch, save some money there. Are these 20 games worth it? $80? No, probably not. Because I probably wouldn't have spent $80 on these games to begin with, because most of them I already own. Having them on a portable, is that cool? Yes. It's definitely a nice gesture by Nintendo, at least giving us all these games. However, I would have liked them before the end of the goddamn year, because we're getting the NES games right now, pretty soon. But we got to wait until like December or January before we can download the Game Boy Advance games. So that's kind of disappointing. Is it a good move by them? For sure. I mean, it just moved like tons and tons of units in Japan.
They had to do something, you know what I mean?
They got to get it into people's hands for all the games that are coming out this holiday season. The 3DS is not dead, people. I mean, it doesn't have the library games it needs. Once it starts coming out with, the Mario games and more first-party titles, and look how long it took the DS to pick up Steam in terms of third-party support with games that really mattered.
Wait, you can play Steam on the DS? That's totally cool, man.
Now I'm really buying one.
Shit.
No, but yeah, I think it's a good move by them. What about you, John?
I agree, Pete. I mean, am I frustrated that I could have paid $80 last year? I would have rather saved $80 in the games that I'm forced to download for free. Absolutely. But at least they're doing it, A lot of the games, though, I haven't really seen the complete list, but I know a lot of them are kind of common games anyway, aren't they? Like the NES titles and stuff? Or...
Yeah, I haven't really looked at the list myself either, but a lot of the games they are including are pretty top-notch games.
Yeah. So, mixed feelings about them price dropping. I think it's definitely a move, like you said, Pete, that they had to do. But I definitely think Nintendo stock has dropped significantly in the last, month or so. Shareholders are not very happy. Board directors aren't very happy. I mean, shit, the CEO of Nintendo took, a 50% pay cut?
Yeah.
And all the head guys are taking cuts. So, I think they're doing what they got to do to stay afloat. But they'll do fine. It's Nintendo. They'll do fine. Jason.
Yeah, you guys pretty much said it all. I'm kind of excited because I'm going to get one now at the discounted price. I'm not going to get all those games, but I don't really know that I'd get those games anyway, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I mean, you guys already said it. And I'm still not too impressed with the lineup of games that are out there right now. You know what I mean? They just announced that they're going to do this limited edition red 3DS. I don't know.
Oh, it's kind of like
what I just thought of? Hold on. You know what I just thought of? You can buy a used 3DS like on eBay or something, and as long as that person accessed the eShop prior, you know what I mean? Wouldn't you be able to get into the ambassador program?
That's true. I would think so.
Yeah, I would think so.
So if you can contact that seller and be like, hey, did you ever go online with this thing in the eShop? And if one of them's like, oh yeah, I got a game on there too. Boom, buy that thing. There you go. Just a thought.
Yeah, and you could get it even more discounted, I'm sure. Ultimately, what I really want to get is I want to get myself a DSi XL. I want to have one of those
so worth it still, honestly.
And they still sell them new. I saw them just at Walmart the other day.
Yeah.
But they're $170.
The 3DS screen can't compare to the XL screen when it comes to DS games.
Yeah.
I do not play DS games on my 3DS. I have to play them on my XL.
Well, I'm also interested in that because it plays Game Boy Advance games, and that's really important to me.
The XL.
I don't think the XL does.
What? No, it does, doesn't it?
No.
Oh
no.
man.
That's why I still have my my DS Lite. That was the last.
Oh, it's the DS Lite.
Yeah.
Ain't that a bitch?
Get a Game Boy Micro.
I've got a couple of those.
Well, that's all you need.
Yeah, they're nice. Those screens are amazing.
You don't want to blow up the resolution.
They're only
too
an
much.
inch big, but they're amazing.
That's what she said. John, how about you?
Yeah, I didn't buy one either. I'm like Jason. I was sitting on the sidelines, and then with the price drop, I might get one for the holidays. Is it a good move? Yeah, Pete's right. It's a smart move on their part. I don't think if this was an American company, any CEO would have took a price cut on this. Just it's a Japanese thing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another problem because you need to see it. And it's hard to show it on TV.
They can't. They can't.
You can't.
Not even in magazines.
That's its biggest fault.
Nintendo
and now
Powers.
we're realizing that.
Yeah. You can't see it.
Yeah, like if a friend doesn't have it, bring it to school. Those kids, they want it, but they don't, they're on the sidelines or it isn't the biggest thing. But once you see one, I think you want it. You absolutely want it. So it's a good move flooding the market with them at a cheaper price.
Yeah.
They should have put those in like every Starbucks and every freaking store they could prior to it being released.
It just shows you that Nintendo is kind of greedy. I mean, look at how much markup they had on these things, And if are they still making profit on them? I'm not sure. I kind of remember reading yes and no, so I'm not sure on the definitive answer, but yeah, they were getting a little greedy with themselves there, taking too much risks.
I thought $250 was too expensive for it. That's why I didn't get one.
I remember you saying that when it first came out, yeah.
And the game's $40. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I saw your post, did you ever pick up that Pac-Man Galaga Dimensions for it?
I didn't, by the way, if anybody listening wants to trade me a 3DS game I do not have, I have a sealed copy of Ghost Recon Events or Shadow Wars on the 3DS, which is actually one of the best games on the freaking system. I'm looking for the Pac-Man Galaga game, the Raving Rabbids game, Dead or Alive, anything I don't have. So just PM me if you want a copy of this game sealed. I don't care, as long as you have a complete copy of one of the games. Message me on YouTube or something. Cool. What were we saying, John?
Which
about
John?
Pac-Man Galaga.
Oh, I was just wondering if you played it or if you gotten it, because that's one game I'm actually thinking about getting.
I've heard really mixed things. Most of them tend to lean towards the bad, from just what I've heard. It comes with a port of Galaga Dimensions and Pac-Man Championship Edition,
right? And
the original games, as well as the one I'm actually most interested in. There's a Pac-Man platforming game that plays sort of like Kirby's, Kirby's Canvas Cursor. No, you tilt the screen around to move Pac-Man around, kind of. It looks kind of The one I'm most interested in is like the first-person Galaga that plays sort of like, I don't know, Panzer Dragoon kind of, or the remake of Czar's Revenge on Xbox 360. It's sort of like that, and it looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, because Pac-Man Championship Edition is probably one of my favorite games, like modern games. It's a really good game.
It's a really good game, yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. Cool. Any other questions, or we go on to the Game Stopper?
I think that's it, right?
Sure. I think we only answered 3, but not 4. But that's okay. Let's move on. Move on.
Okay, so here now, listen, guys. Now we've had some people talk about this on the forums as well, and they're talking about, well, I don't want to hear a rant every time about GameStop. Well, guess what? Neither do I, and neither do we. So if I have a great experience, I'm going to share that as well. But here's the thing. I'm not going to be going into GameStop every week, okay? And it's just not going to happen. So this is kind of like, I've thought about this. Like, this is all good and fun, and I'll do this once in a while, but this is not like my segment here. This is just something fun to do, okay? Because there's like no way I'm going in there every week. I went in there a couple days ago, and okay, so it was my girlfriend's birthday, and she loves Animal Crossing. Oh, so do my parents. My parents wake up every day, and they play Animal Crossing. They harvest their crops. I've said this a million times. So bless all their little hearts. They love it. They call it animal droppings, by the way. Oh, okay. So I'm thinking I got to get my girl a game for her birthday. She loves Animal Crossing. I'm thinking she's probably really going to be into The Sims. She probably loved The Sims. She loves playing dress up. She loves building. She likes making her world, her house, and Animal Crossing is kind of like a kid's dumbed down version of that. Okay. So I figured I'm going to go buy her Sims. So I'm starting looking up because there's 1,000,000,001 Sims out there. Well, so there's Sims 3 on the Wii. I'll get her that. I thought I'll get her one for a Mac. No. She plays on her Nintendo Wii more. So I got her Sims 3. So I walk into GameStop and they're like, hello, how you doing? I said, I'd like to get Sims 3 for Wii. And the guy goes, well, let me see if I have it used. And I say, I don't want it used. I want it new. I'm not going to buy my girl a used game. She'd be like, where's this game been? So I'm buying her new, of course. So he goes back and he goes, yep,
Comes out with a gutted copy.
He goes, "Yep, we got one left, one
They
new
always
copy left."
do that. They always fucking do that.
So he pulls out a fucking opened case, pulls out the game from a fucking sleeve from the cabinet, puts it in, closes it up, and goes, "Here you go." I go, "That's not new." I go, "It's opened." And he goes, "Well, this is our last copy, and so, this one." And I'm sitting there going, "It's opened. Don't they?" Okay, here's my question.
Why are they open? I don't get
That's my question. Okay, and I know this is true. When they order games, they come from the factory shrink wrapped and sealed, just like a CD, jewel case. Why the fuck is it opened? Somebody, I don't care. Anyone in the world, in the internet, answer me that. Why do they open it? Can you guys answer that? Someone
wants to try it out.
I think they put like the box on the shelf. Because that's what usually happens. I bring up the case and I'm like, "Oh, you have this game?" And they're like, "Yep, that's the last copy."
Yeah, that's right. They bring the empty box out for display. That's why.
Well, it's bullshit.
They want to play it in the back room. That's what it is.
Yeah, or they want to put it in a used freaking case and sell it used.
No, the GameStop employees are allowed to like borrow games and bring them back.
Yeah, I don't want somebody's freaking slobbered on game that they took home. Know what I mean?
Doesn't that make it used?
That's my point. And I go, okay, well, I don't want to buy that because it's not new. And of course, they won't sell it to me at a used price.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy a fucking opened game and it's new. That's like buying someone's ice cream cone that's been licked on by the employee. Would you buy that?
Depends on the employee.
Buy the employee? Yeah, sure.
Fuck you guys. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, though. It's just so anyway, that's my little GameStop. So I walked down, I went to Walmart and I bought it sealed.
Yeah. Or go to Best Buy or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So that's all that I have for you today, guys. Happy faces and smiles and ice cream cones for everybody.
Nice.
I prefer slushies or Slurpee.
I had an icy the other
icy.
day.
There you go. The icy.
White cherry, baby. Old school. Good.
There you go. The icy is classic.
So anyway.
All right, Pete.
Hold on now. I'm still going through here.
You can go onto our website, allgengamers.com. There's a link to our forums. Click on that. You can ask Love Talk questions for Johnny. You can ask Gaming Piece Theater for myself. Or Pete has a segment on there as well.
So many RPG questions.
You can also submit an audio question if you guys wanting to do that to contact@allgengamers.com. We'll get to them. We also have...
Wait, do we have audio questions?
We do, but I don't have it all queued up.
Oh, damn it, Jason.
I'm sorry. We
Feels
also
like
have
it's been a millennium.
I know it has. Speaking of millennium, we also have some follow-up Love Talk questions for Johnny when he gets back. So we'll be getting to those in the future, guys. So thanks for that, and keep on submitting those. Make sure to follow us on our Facebook page. We have 1,034 likes. How awesome is that?
Our YouTube channel. We have over 3,000 subscribers now on our YouTube channel.
All Gen Gamers on YouTube, where I will be getting back in the swing of releasing highlight reels as soon as we get back from PAX.
All right, I got one.
All right, we're done plugging.
One more quick plug.
Thank you for the stall.
One more quick plug. Also go into iTunes and rate us and comment. We really read those and appreciate that. That will allow other people to see us, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Pete, go ahead.
All right. I'm just trying to see here if I see any
and a couple more plugs. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, yeah, I think I've just looking through my collection here real fast. Okay. All right, so this question comes from Hicka, which, by the way, my segment here, you guys can go onto the forums and ask me for game recommendations, and I will do my best to give a recommendation for you based on your specific needs and wants. So this week's question comes from Hickraj. Sorry, I'm turning into John here tonight.
Yeah, they're tough.
Hikargh.
Bar to bar.
And he says, remember those 3D platformers back in the day with the huge sprawling levels, tons of stuff to collect, and secrets in every nook and cranny? I'm talking about Banjo-Kazooies, the Donkey Kong 64s, Jak and Daxter, but where did they all go? To my knowledge, there hasn't been a 3D platformer that captures that same lust for exploration sense, well, Jak and Daxter, or has it been slipped under my radar? Perhaps you know of one, Pete, specifically any that was made for this generation of consoles. So, the first one that always comes to mind, and I always love recommending this game, it is Mushroom Men: The Spore Wars for the Wii. This is one of the most underrated gems to come out this generation. Without a doubt, if you're into 3D platformers, you must check this game out. It's got a really, really colorful, unique, eerie kind of dark and grungy art style to it, where you play as the good mushrooms. It's the spore wars. So there's the bad fungus mushrooms, and then there's the good mushrooms, and you kind of play in a shrunken down kind of form. So you're to scale. So the levels that you play in, like you'll be in someone's house and there'll be like giant rats and stuff, and it's really, really cool. And the art style is so awesome. Like I said, it's very colorful but very dark and grungy at the same time. And the music is by Les Claypool, so it's got a really cool soundtrack to it. You want to say something, John?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you play as a fun guy?
You do, actually, yeah. Which there's one on the DS called Rise of the Fungi, but I have not played that because I've heard it's pretty bad. It's a 2D platformer. But no, this game gets my highest recommendation, especially if you're a fan of Banjo-Kazooie, Mario 64, Jak and Daxter type of games. And just in case if you played that one before, the next best thing that just comes to mind off the top of my head would be the Ratchet and Clank series on PS3, specifically Tools of Destruction.
That's a good
Crack
game.
in Time, yeah, Crack in Time was good, but in my opinion, it doesn't have anything on Tools of Destruction. Excellent freaking games. If you haven't played those already, a little bit more focused on the gunplay and combat rather than the platforming, but it's got a lot of exploration in it. So, Hikarog, it kind of reminds me of like a Godzilla monster's name or something, Hikarog or some shit.
Oh my God, Hikarog, could do better.
Which reminds me, I actually, out of nowhere, I just started watching, like a couple of weeks ago. I just got in the mood to watch like some old school Godzilla films. I was gonna watch them all in like chronological order, but I kind of gave up on that. I used to be so into Godzilla as a kid, but I was the kind of kid that for the most part I would just fast forward to the battle scenes in the movies because all the other shit bored me to death. But one of my favorite movies of all time, I don't know if you guys ever saw it, was Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. You ever see that one?
Absolutely, yeah.
That was one of my favorites because there was so many cameos from the Godzilla monsters, and I've always been this way with like Star Wars and Godzilla and Lord of the Rings. I've always been a fan of like very minor characters in the movies, which is why my favorite character in Star Wars is Greedo. Like I just love the characters that get like no screen time or like a minute or two, and that's basically what Destroy All Monsters was for Godzilla films. Like it has so many cameos of different monsters and shit. But anyway, yeah, that's my answer for this week's game recommendation.
Awesome. I think that pretty much wraps up episode 56.
Definitely.
John, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. I enjoyed every minute of it. And Johnny, if you're listening, feel better for PAX.
Definitely.
Yeah, hopefully, for sure. That would be terrible.
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 Went down the pack, terrible cold.
Yeah, we'll hopefully he feels better. But I can't wait till PAX. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be great. Good time.
Looking forward to seeing anybody out there that's a listener for sure.
I'm looking forward to seeing you, Pete.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite the experience. All four of us getting together.
Jason's gonna go up to Pete. He's like gonna be shaking and be like,
Pete, will you sign my breasts?
Well, that reminds me, Jason. Did you ever get around to making your poutine?
No, I haven't.
So maybe you'll have poutine for the first time.
Maybe in Seattle, the Cheesecake Factory has it. I don't know. It's close to the border. They may.
do. I can't wait to spend $8 on a slice of cheesecake, though. It's really good cheesecake.
It is really good cheesecake. Red Velvet's my favorite one.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Really? I should try that.
I'm not really into cheesecake. I just want some ice cream.
No, this is not even cheesecake. It is like ice cream, Jason. Like you do not taste the cheesecake.
Yeah, because I don't like really cheesecake at all.
Trust me, Jason.
You won't taste it. Just get like a chocolate cheesecake and you'll be set. Wait,
Oreo,
hold on.
Oreo.
Hold on a second here. We got a message from Johnny. He just sent me a message, yo. Hold on. You want to try calling him, Jason, just to see in case? Just so he can say hello.
Hello. Hello.
So that Johnny guy, how rude of him not to join us tonight. What the fuck?
I know,
dude?
just when we finished up, too. Just when we were wrapping the show
Are you guys finished?
We're just wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm just so sick.
How you feeling, man?
Very sweaty. You know what happened is the weather was super hot and then went super cold. And somewhere in between, like, got super muggy. And me and Kim are both ill. She's in the shower right now for like an hour shower, I'm sure. So,
well, we'll give her some rest, man.
Yeah,
definitely.
Kind of really
gotta
out
feel
of it.
better. So,
how are you
Don't
doing,
want to be
John?
sick,
Sorry,
bro.
I'm so sorry, man. I wasn't able to get on.
I'm glad you're on now and you sound a little better, I'm sure. That's great.
Yeah. I feel like I got the sweats really bad. Isn't that weird?
Oh,
Didn't
boy,
your
hopefully it's not the
appendix
flu.
blow up a month ago or something?
Yeah, it blew up. It actually exploded, and that was about that was a good month and a bit ago now. So, but yeah, then I get rocked with this. But it's so weird. Everybody I work with has got this now. So
hopefully it's just a 24-hour deal.
Yeah.
What's that?
Hopefully it's just a 24-hour flu. Kind of just there and pass.
We're like doing everything in our power, drinking like orange
Just
juice.
rest. Keep drinking water. Yeah, orange. juice.
Yeah. And going to sleep like tonight, like super early, all that kinds of stuff. So, so it was a good podcast.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was fun,
Yeah, it was nice.
I just want to tell you, Johnny, I
Yeah.
got an iPad today.
You didn't get a HP touchpad?
No, I wanted an iPad for the games.
Oh, you got it for the games.
Yeah, I've already bought 3 in the process of talking to John on the podcast. He's like, you should check this game out. I'm like, okay, buy, add to cart. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing them.
So when does the Game Deals party actually start on Saturday?
Okay, that's a good question. I think it starts probably about 7:00 at night.
Okay.
That's right
And-
when the convention place closes down. So
Probably, yeah.
So, hey, Giant, to give you a heads up, we kind of talked about maybe doing Saturday at 4 to do our podcast. And
Okay.
we're kind of going to determine when we're there where to do it. So at this point, we're not going to make an announcement, but we told people to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And for those who are at the meetup, then we'll have an idea as far as where to record. But 4 o'clock,
We'll scout it out like the day before, probably.
because at 4 on Saturday, there really isn't much going on as far as other things going on. So,
Did you guys are you under the idea to do this out in public somewhere?
Yeah.
Like
naked.
yeah, that's fine, naked and all that stuff. But wouldn't it just be better just to do it in a room?
Well, I mean, for those people who want to listen to it.
Really? Okay. I don't know. Like, we didn't announce it to anybody, so nobody would know that we're going to do that. So
yeah,
there's
or
gonna be
we
some-
can do it. I mean,
we're
whatever.
gonna do it and have like one guy staring at us.
I was just let's say some fucking hobos looking at us trying to steal the Bluetooth.
How about we leave it to our listeners? If you guys want us to do it out in the open, if you guys are going to be in the area, let us know. If not, we'll just do it.
We'll do
I'm
it
sure
in the
they'll let us know
room.
at the meetup.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, it all depends on the space. If we don't have a space, we can't find somewhere to do it. We'll just go to we'll do it in the room. Blah, blah, blah.
Well, who knows? Maybe the internet. When we went to PAX East, John, like everybody was complaining. Well, actually, no. You know what? We're not going to need a Wi-Fi connection. Never
Yeah.
mind.
No,
we're not streaming it. We're just recording it.
Yeah. Are you bringing down your laptop, Pete?
No, I'm bringing my iPad.
Oh, he's an iPad guy.
The new
Yeah, that's
iPad.
it. Yeah.
Oh man, that's so expensive. The iPad though. Jesus.
Well, so is a laptop. My laptop is like double the price.
I guess. I bought the HP touchpad. I'm like, that's good enough for me. I don't want to game on.
My laptop is so freaking heavy, and I'm only going to do a carry-on bag. So like, I just don't, I need the extra weight in the room, and the amount of time I'll be on my computer. Like, fuck it, I'll just bring my iPad.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like the microphone for your iPad?
No.
Okay.
I bought the thing with a case, screen protector, and like a little laptop bag, and that's it so far. I'm sure I'll eventually get something for it, keyboard.
I've seen some interesting microphones that hook up to that iOS, and it's just supposedly really good for the things that you want to do.
So I'm guessing I missed a lot of arcade talking tonight.
Yeah, we talked about arcade. We talked about little pinball.
We talked
Pinballs.
about-
Yeah.
Nice. Fuck.
You're going to have to listen back.
Yeah, I will. Sure. You know what though? I would have really been bad because my concentration is crap.
Yeah, you totally should rest, though. I mean,
Yeah, get some rest, bro.
Be
Trust me,
sick
I
for
know
PAX.
that.
Yeah.
I know that.
See now, Johnny, what you can do is you can download the podcast on iTunes, leave us a review, and then you can listen to it on the way to PAX in the car with Rob.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait a second. Would it be up tomorrow?
I'm posting
Yeah.
it tomorrow
Yeah,
because
I'm
I'm not going to be
Oh
here.
my
after
God.
this, I am exporting this bitch. I'm not even editing it.
It better be entertaining, guys. I'm telling you that.
We just ripped
Listen,
you the
my
whole.
invitation still stands. If anybody comes into New York, give me a call. I've got all these pinball machines that are itching for players. They're just sitting in my garage.
Well, what about Spider 1A? He's really into pinball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about that.
Yeah, for sure. So
Yeah, I think Chris would like to take a look at some of the stuff I've got. I've got a joust pinball machine that is
Wow.
not shaped like a pinball machine. It's actually 2 players play head to head against each other across the machine.
I've seen that at the Pinball Hall
Yeah.
of Fame. Yeah.
400 ever made. It's pretty wild. Yeah.
That's awesome. Very cool. I'll have to hit you up.
are you selling them?
They're going to be sold soon. I mentioned I have a kid now, and things change when you have a kid. So yeah, I'm going to start filming reviews of them and then probably sell them off.
Oh wow, that's tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny.
Yeah.
Guess John's daughter's name.
Oh God, this is a huge Donkey Kong. Joust. I don't know.
Arcadia.
Is it really?
Yeah, Arcadia.
That's pure coincidence, right?
It absolutely is. Yeah. No one believes me though, but yeah.
That's pretty odd. Arcadia. Oh, you have to have an arcade room for her.
Yeah, she's got it.
That's cool.
It's downstairs.
Oh, that's wild. That's really fun. Oh God. So, okay, let's just sorry because we got to get to talking about this. You guys are flying in at 6:30.
Yes.
Okay. At that point, we'll have been in the Cheesecake Factory for about an hour and a half. So, John, you know the stuff, the flying stuff so well. Flying in there. How long till you check in and get? Because it takes a bit to get from the airport.
Jason, do you want to check in the hotel before you go to Cheesecake Factory or not? Because it's going to take some time. You can check in afterwards. I would recommend.
Okay.
You can check in any time in the night.
Yeah, that's fine. Just put our bags in the car, right?
Leave it in the car, yeah.
Okay.
So it'll probably take us a good hour, Johnny. Probably get from the airport, pick up the car.
Yeah, so wait for
7:30.
your bags and all. We'll see you about 8 o'clock.
Yeah, 7:30.
Yeah. I'll probably arrive at the hotel because I signed up reservations for a shuttle from the airport to Sheraton. So it's going to take me about an hour for that, and I'll be there at like 12:30.
Perfect. That's good time because I'm meeting up with Terrence. I'm meeting up with him about 11:30.
Cool.
And one of my best friends, actually, I talk about him a lot in my show. Andrew, the guy who had everything on my street, he's flying in from California.
Text
Hey,
me.
just save us 3 spots at the Cheesecake Factory, all right? 3 seats.
Yeah, 3 seats. Gary might be coming too.
Okay, so 4 seats then.
Gary might be coming out.
Carrot. Wait a
Johnny,
second.
how many seats do you have reserved at the Cheesecake?
20.
I
And
think
they'll all
we're
be.
gonna have more than
And
that.
do you know what? What I'm gonna do is when I get in there, I've reserved 20. I'm gonna ask for another 10.
And they're gonna be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
They won't. They won't. Not seriously, because we're gonna walk in with about 15 people.
How are we going to divide the checkup though? It's going to be crazy.
It's all each person pays separately. That's what that's the way it is.
Yeah.
It's all on Johnny's tab in his room.
Johnny's buying.
I'm sure our waiter is gonna love us.
Oh, they'll have multiple.
We're gonna have
but-
John saying, "Excuse me, but there's an error on my check here."
Yeah, I'm like the giant cheesecake was his.
Fellas, I'm going to sign out. So I wish you guys a good time at PAX. Have a great time there.
Thank you, John. I appreciate
Nice
you
talking
joining
to you,
us.
John, for like 10 minutes.
It's okay. Thank you.
Catch up
Thank
with
you.
you.
All right. Have a good night, John.
Good night, guys.
Thanks. I got to jet too, guys, but we'll see you in a couple days.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good. We'll
All right.
see you there.
Cool.
Seattle,
See you
woot
soon.
woot.
All right. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.